Okay, and we should be live.
Well,
Welcome
I'm not
to.
talking. Oh, no,
You're not
I
talking?
don't have. Nah, not yet. Are you
Okay,
ready?
alright. No, I'm
Are you
streaming
on
now.
that already? Oh,
Yeah,
you're
it's
already on it?
alright.
All right.
Yeah, alright.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Now we're live on
Now we're
Facebook too.
live? We're live?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, welcome to episode 36 of the Clutch Kick.
Fuck. 36.
Yeah.
Jesus. We're almost at your age, EG.
Okay.
You're just like, get out of it, mate.
I don't even know if you're making a joke or being truthful.
I'm just trying to be mean. I think since
To be mean.
I think since I turned the big 3-0 last week, I have just turned into a grumpy person. Honestly, I'm not very nice to people.
I noticed that. You've been a bit quiet, actually.
I'm exhausted. I am dead set exhausted. I think the weekend tried to kill me.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. But just quickly, this week, you went to QR Matsuri on last weekend. There's also I don't think there's anything else locally.
Not that I'm aware of. And there was a Matsuri at Raleigh, and then FD Japan, but I have not kept up with FD Japan at all, other than the fact that Mad Mike took home the championship. I think.
Yep.
I think you watched that one.
Yeah, I actually watched the whole thing this time, so that was cool. And then there was also the round of King of Europe or King of Nations, where Matt Harvey,
King of Europe,
went to compete in the FCRX7 with an RB25, I think, conversion in the Pro-Am series, and that was pretty cool. I didn't actually find any video of him besides, I think, what his girlfriend took, because the live stream was just of the Pro Championship, I think, and not the Pro-Am.
Well, was it basically running as King of Nations was the main event that was getting all the coverage, and then there was a round of basically the European Championship within it, separate?
Ah, okay.
Maybe?
Yeah. I can hear an echo. Is that from me or from you?
That's probably from you.
Okay, hang on.
Or that might be the meth, but
The meth? Okay.
yeah.
Alright,
It'll have that effect sometimes.
The audio a little bit. Okay. So where do we start? Do we start with
wherever you want to start?
Where do we start? I don't know which will be the quickest, because we're just trying to cover off the quick ones before we actually get into the in-depth stuff. So
yeah, tell me a little bit about FD Japan.
You think this is gonna be quick? Yeah, probably will be, because my memory's not that great.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched any of it, so
I can tell you the winner. It was it was Andrew Gray and Mad Mike final.
Oh, I didn't realise that would end up being the final, but I think by that stage it would have meant Mad Mike had wrapped up the championship well and truly.
Yep. Yeah, I think he just had to beat Shinji into the top 4 or top 8, and at that point, I think there was some people that made calculations, and at some point, it was announced that there's no way that Shinji could catch up, because I think Andrew also had a chance if Mad Mike got knocked out in top 16, or Shinji had a chance. Anyway, something like that. There was some sort of, how everyone places a particular spot, then you could change the championship up, and so all those things were not met. So yeah, Mad Mike won the event. He was really, really happy. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone react in so much happiness, like so much positivity.
Yeah, on the road trip I listened to, there was the Rusty's Garage thing, the Greg Rust podcasts, where he's been speaking to a few like just motorsport people, Matt Hall, the Red Bull Air Race guy, Mark Webber, and a few others. And he did one with Mad Mike, and I didn't realize Humble is actually part of his like sponsorship program and his program. All
Humble.
that, like that car in Japan,
Yeah.
which is nicknamed Humble, is part of his like actual stable of cars and under his program.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
I
I
thought it
thought,
was part of Team Magic or
yeah,
which Magic Garage, whatever they're called. And yeah, I was
he's
like,
just a driver. That's what I thought.
yeah, yeah, but it sounds like from that interview that he's not. He's actually, yeah, that's his team. So yeah, I think
Crazy.
yeah, I think there's a lot of effort being put into, I think that program. So, and that's his favorite. He said that's the easiest car that he's got to drive. So, yeah, I think.
But it still seems to have the same issues as all these other cars with the accelerator cable breaking or something like that.
Oh yeah, like it's still got its problems and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, he said that's where he feels the most at home. Like he can jump in that car and pretty much put it wherever he wants. Where everything else in the MX-5 he took over to the US was just a challenge. Where that car's a little bit easier. So I always thought that was Team Magic's car, but I guess they look after it. And yeah, it's part of his program.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would imagine that's where his level of excitement was. Did it end up being a dry event last year? I'm pretty sure it bucketed down the whole time.
No, it was dry. I'm gonna say it's dry. It was wet at the start. I remember it was raining, but I remember it dry. But I can't remember at what point did it actually switch over from wet to dry, because there was a typhoon coming through. So they moved the qualifying forward, so it was quite early on Saturday morning. And it was wet for the first few runs that I saw, and then it dried up. So it's really cool cars, really good drivers. There was a girl that actually made it through to top 16. So that was
That's
cool.
not the that's not the first time though.
No, but like she was, I thought she drove really well. Where other people thought, oh, she got lucky. Well, she did kind of have, it was lucky because the other car in the top 32 was actually one of my mates. His car broke down, blew a gearbox, and made it through. But I think she would have beat him anyway. So
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah.
Sorry,
She
I'm
was
reading.
very committed. It was awesome. It was so cool. That
That
was bits,
that
yeah. And
that's the wife of the other guy.
no, that's not
Oh, so
Shinji's wife.
okay, so it's
What's her
somebody
name?
else.
Yeah.
So two females at that round then.
No, Shinji's wife. What's her name? Starts with M. Ah, jeez. What? Yeah. Anyway, she's always not committed to this round, so
Yeah.
she say she's not going to compete in this round. I'm not too sure if she's actually out there, but she was already decided at the start of the year that she wasn't competing.
Yeah.
So she wasn't there, but what else can I say about it?
Any controversy that you weren't happy with?
Some of the judging decisions, I guess.
It's FD
But
judges. You never have anything nice to say, mate.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. Actually, I was happier about this one than anything else. Any other round. I think they picked up from some of the mistakes that they had, and they're gaining experience with judging, with actual drifting, I should say, with judging actual drifting. So, um, the camera angles actually were difficult to work with, because the entry, which I liked the most, was directly in line with the camera, and because it was a camera and not like using two eyes, you can't actually get too much of depth, and it was a little bit funny trying to see the entries, and switching to different camera angles actually helped. But that's more like a viewer sort of thing. I don't think it really mattered. I didn't really make too many calls in my mind from that
Yeah.
sort of angle. But yeah, I think generally it was alright. Some other things were were okay. I can see the reasoning behind that. It was good that they actually had the judges talking, or a judge talking on each commentary, and sort of explaining their decision.
Oh, did they
Um,
have one on the Japanese one as well?
yeah, they had Robbie.
Robbie was talking. That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't actually listen to the Japanese stream this time,
Yeah.
but it was I think the Japanese stream was a bit smoother to begin with, but then it actually got better in the English one, so I just watched the English one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was I guess there was one which I thought was a bit funny. It was when Shinji made a protest. So, what happened was on entry. This is actually one of the things that I said the camera angle wasn't really good to see, but he was versing Nyan, and on entry apparently Nyan misshifted, and I can't really tell on the camera. Like you can kind of tell that the car wobbles a little bit, but you're not too sure if he's like hesitated or something like that. But yeah, what happened was he misshifted and it actually caused him to slow down, and Shinji sort of had to sort of wiggle around him. And so then it put him
Was
off
that
the rest
on
of the run.
before entry?
It was on the entry. So he's
Yeah.
after the line, you go in first, second, third, and at that point, I think it was into third gear. That's when he misshifted and
Yeah.
caused issues. So yeah, there was a protest or like an appeal or something like that, and then
Well, had they handed the win to the other guy?
yeah, I thought it would have been a rerun because even that I thought there was enough mistakes after that particular point that shouldn't have occurred, and it would have actually not made too much of a difference if that makes sense. So if you like sort of wipe out the the fact that there's a gap caused by this incident. The rest of it, there shouldn't have been. You've got a gap, so you shouldn't have this sort of other issues because you got a clear run. And anyway, that was my sort of feeling about it.
Facebook should not have comments open because Jesus Christ.
Why is that?
Some of these boys from Wollongong should not be in the comment section.
I can't actually. Hang on, if I bring it
No,
up,
I'm not sure you want to see it. I'm just surprised that the judges didn't pick up on the fact that there was a big slow up on entry, considering the criteria generally is full throttle to entry. And if the guy's, flubbed, selecting a gear and hasn't stayed full throttle the whole time, then he shouldn't be rewarded in his lead run. So, but this is why something like a drift box or whatever would be great, because you can see a big checkup like that and it makes it easier.
yeah.
Because really, if it's happened before entry, then it should be almost a false start, then shouldn't it? Because technically they haven't started drifting
I
yet.
don't know the rules, and I don't know enough of the rules.
But if you saw that in a
FD.
DCA event, would you be like, "Hey, turn around and go do it again because it was shit"?
If I saw that, yeah, it would have been.
Or just an advantage to the chase car?
Yeah, advantage to the chase car at that point, but then, yeah, like I said, it should be for me. Looking at that, I think it should be a rerun at least, not a. After the process, it shouldn't have gone to in favor of the other car. Like I can
Yeah.
understand that because of that reason, a gap's created, and so whenever I do judging with that, okay, that's kind of shit, but you kind of have to take that into account. If they can close the gap, then that's cool because then they've been able to catch up without
Yeah.
doing anything like going straight and sort of gripping around. If they could actually do some really cool drifting with that gap behind them and catch up, then yeah, of course, I'll put them in their favor, and that's probably where they'll get the advantage. But it
Yeah.
really depends situation, of course. Like it's not really that definitive. I do look at it and think, try and analyze how much am I going to weight this mistake and how did it affect the rest of the run. And so if it's that severe, then it might just go straight to the other person as clear winner.
Would you recommend for the other car just to run into the back of the other one then?
No, because that's the other person's fault then.
Yeah, but if the other person's checked up and you're full throttle, then all of a sudden they've got no speed anymore, then
Yeah. I've heard of that situation before.
But I feel like
Wakefield.
if I was in front of you doing that and I had misshifted, I feel like you would just run into the back of me.
I would. I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
but
push
this
you
is my
around.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would feel like that should be okay.
Uh, yeah, but you shouldn't. I think it's okay, but you shouldn't be like. There's a point, and the point would probably be if I've hit you and I keep accelerating into you to push you around the corner. That's pretty aggressive. It's probably
Nah.
unnecessary. It should be like a nudge, like oops, tap or touch or smash or whatever. But it'd be like oops, and then not
So,
like
so
oops,
you basically,
fuck you, and then just keep going into you.
so basically, don't try and put the nose of your car into the back of the seat.
Throws your car into the back of the seat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, like not that hard.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fair then. That's fair.
Well, drifters are
So I guess
broke, so and they don't. Yeah, it's gonna cost both of you money to actually get your car running again.
it's all right. It's all right. Already in that situation anyway.
Okay. So I I can't keep up with a comment. I just can't look over enough to read it.
Nah, that's all right.
Okay.
Some of it'll come up. Some of it'll come up.
Okay. Holy shit. There is actually 14 comments, but I can't actually read it.
Nah, that's all right. We'll touch on some of it as we go.
Okay. All right. What's next? Matt Harvey got third, I think.
Yes. So he qualified number one.
Yeah, number two. So
Number two. Yeah, number two.
I
I'm
saw he
pretty
got
sure.
qualified second. I saw a post that he's in top 4, and then I heard he got third place.
Third. Yep.
Which
So
is
only
really
lost
good.
once. Didn't lose twice. Look,
Yeah.
I think this seems like the best setup car that I think most of the Aussies have gone over and had time to drive. Well, it's probably the most competitive for the level of series that Aussie drivers have been given over in Europe. I think everything else has been pretty stock standard LSs in some sort of BMW or something like that against cars with a whole lot more power, where Matt seemed to get a handle on this one pretty quickly. And
Matt's a good driver. I like Matt.
he's been over there before, and he struggled purely based off the car that he was given, where this time it seems
I heard
a
that
little
was
bit.
not. I heard that was a stock BMW or just and slightly lowered or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure pretty stock with like a V8 or something, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely much better this time around. And yeah, definitely proved that he's versatile. And it'd be interesting to know, try and catch up with him at World Time Attack and find out if he took himself out again like he's good at doing, or if he actually got legitimately beaten this time. But
Hey, we should actually do an interview with him and get you to do the interview, and I'll video it.
on the spot, yeah, we'll try and do a few of them. Hopefully we don't drown, but I think it's only 30% chance of rain each day.
Yeah, you guys said it was gonna rain, and when I looked at it, it's like barely any rain or something. Like it's like
it's like 30%, so I'm not too stressed.
And then the other guy's like, what did they say? Bring a tent or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we sat him worse than that last year, mate.
Yeah, it just drizzled. It'll be alright.
Yeah.
And then Saturday comes along and it's pissing down rain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So let's not put the mocker on it too much. So yeah, we'll try and catch up with him on that, and then I guess a few updates for World Time Attack. Looking at cars, they're still trying to sort out Connor Shanahan's car. It's got a couple of little things that they're trying to fix up. I won't say too much, but I think there's been some clutch issues, and then it's still got to get tuned. So they're still working on that as far as I'm aware. Luke's had to jump into the McManaway strawberry-faced 180 instead of the S15 because the S15 is not finished.
Oh, the one that he was going to
Mm,
drive.
yeah. So it's still by the same guys own the car,
Okay.
but just the just the backup car, I guess. Matty
Mm.
Hill's got a V3 of an S15 or some sort of car ready to make an appearance,
Yep.
and I think everybody else is pretty well sorted from what I've seen. Haven't seen anything too major happening with anybody else. I know that the two SA cars of Dale Campaign and Nathan Greenhill are on the road on the way up, ready for tomorrow. Ben Meir got some shakedown time on Saturday at the figure eight. Car looked pretty quick.
Did you watch it, or
So
did you just watch that video?
no, I just watched a bit. I was in Queensland,
When did you get back?
but when did I get back?
Yeah. When
On
was the video taken, actually?
on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you got some private time.
No.
Okay.
Remember, Blaken was complaining that he had to park so far away and walk, the 500 meters from where the parking is at Sydney Motorsport Park to the figure eight, even though there's a whole bunch of parking closer. And that's what's wrong with Sydney drifting.
Don't worry, Sydney drifting's dead. Don't worry about it.
Well, with all Blake chip sandwiches, the walk probably wouldn't kill him.
Okay.
See, I told you, I've just turned into a dick at 30, as opposed to normal. I don't know how much you guys spoke about Nathan's car last weekend or last week, but his car looks freaking
Not
cool.
a lot. It does look cool.
The car
I
looks
only saw
cool.
images without the livery on it. I don't know
There's a
if
livery
there's.
on it now.
Well,
I've
I think
not
that's what
seen.
he's. No. I think he was saying there was going to be a livery on it, so I don't
Well,
know.
I would
There was no
imagine so,
glass in it. Yeah.
but at the moment, plain white, it looks freaking cool. I'm pretty sure it's the attack version of the Origin body kit,
Attack line.
attack line or something, and it
Yeah.
looks cool. Definitely a cool looking car. So hopefully,
Yeah, but it's another untested car.
yep, it is. But hopefully, yeah, it's got all the good bits in it.
They should bring it to Canberra and do some testing in it.
Oh, I think there's a picture on his Facebook of what it's going to look like. So
The render of it.
SPC, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, SPC. Very cool. So it'll look cool in person, and hopefully he can, back it up with a solid performance, which I'm sure he will, considering he gives every car or his 32 a really hard time in general. So yeah.
What else? We sort of had made sort of bets, like a. No, there was a bet. I wasn't involved. It was a bet between Steve and Blake. And if Steve wins a bet, then Blake has to eat steak for a month. And if Blake
So
wins a bet,
awful.
if Blake wins a bet, then Steve has to be vegan for a month.
And what's the bet based around?
I think Steve's gonna lose, but it was if the XD from Northern Territory makes it through, beats Naoki Nakamura.
Makes it through or just beats Nakamura?
Well, if you make it through, you beat him. So
No, you haven't.
yeah, because you're the
The leader in that pool, but that doesn't
yeah.
mean you've beat Nakamura. You've beaten him
Oh,
in the pool, but that doesn't mean you beat him in
well,
that battle.
we have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it was make it through.
Okay.
So the other thing was if Nakamura makes it through, then that's when Steve has to be vegan.
Okay, but if it's either of the other two cars, then nobody has to do anything.
I don't know. Maybe we could just make them do both or something. Anyway.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. I think it'd be more interesting to see Steve try and be a vegan than the other way around.
Yeah. I think it would be. I think secretly Steve might want to try being a vegan out.
Oh, Ooh, he's just gonna keep it in the closet.
like a closet vegan. Yeah.
He probably already is.
So yeah. Anyway, we've actually recorded all our
Predictions.
predictions. That's probably a better word. And we're going to see how that pans out. But that's only for the pool, so not for overall winner. So top 8
Okay.
would be different.
I need to go back and have a listen to the 14-hour episode.
Right.
I get told I'm the one who talks a lot, and then I go away for an episode, and it ends up being the longest one I think that's ever been done. So
Yeah, well, that
well
was
done, boys.
Blake's doing. He was trying to stretch it as long as possible. So we're going to have to make this
Jesus.
one really long to beat Blake out again.
Yeah, that's not happening. But yeah,
what else?
we'll try and the Shanahan boys have arrived.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they're out at
I
Sydney.
saw a
They're out at Sydney
post
Motorsport
about
Park
that.
today.
Yep.
So yeah, everybody seems like they're on the ground, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to see. I'm just hoping it's a dry track and they get a little bit of dry track on whatever day that is, Thursday tomorrow, for a few shakedown laps for everybody to get a grasp. And yeah, look, let's see what happens with it.
I hope someone's live streaming on Thursday. Hey, you should go out and live stream.
I don't know if I can get in, to be honest.
Oh, just tell them where you're from. Say you're from the Clutch Kick and they'll let you in.
Jesus.
Don't sound confident. Why don't you sound confident?
Nah, buddy, screenshot me when I'm looking like a dickhead. Doesn't it like...
Just print out all the times you've been on TV and just, so this is my resume. I've been on TV this many times.
Something like
Don't
that.
you know who I am?
Yeah, I'll see if there's a few people I know, so I'll try and get in there.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
And yeah, so that's all I got on that one.
Okay.
Didn't something happen to one of their cars already? That the S13 is still being sorted as far as I'm aware. Pretty sure that's the one that they're talking about. So.
Yeah, you have to pop a gearbox out and put it back in. It should be fine.
Yeah, hopefully. That issue was before it even left Queensland, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it for World Time Attack sort of thing? Hopefully we're going to be doing some sort of live thing. I don't know how we're going to do it though.
We'll work it out.
Yeah,
I've got data.
I did get a whiteboard, so we can draw up a tree even, so we can keep up with it, because it's going to be. I think it's going to be difficult.
Ourselves.
Yeah, but like you'll see the battles, and then actually this is if we can actually hear what's going on, because I think one time you couldn't actually hear the commentators.
Yeah, well, Mitch Sanders was asking if there's a radio station for the track, which I think there might be for the radio, like for the commentary. So maybe we need to try and sort out a radio of some variety. If anybody's got one of those Milwaukee, Makita, anything like that radios, bring it so that we can set it up close and listen properly. Do you have any of those? Do you have one of those little?
No.
Nah.
I just stream normally on data.
But we'll see. Oh, and we can do that as well. We both have phones out there, so we can always watch the live stream from our phones. Don't stress too hard, mate. And
yeah, I want to know how we're going to do the microphone, because I'm kind of think we actually have to have a microphone connected to the phone to actually do the live streaming. What do you think? I should bring my laptop and webcam?
You can if you want. Jesus.
You've got to carry a battery though, and the inverter.
Like a car battery.
It's actually larger than a car battery. It's.
Didn't you have it on a trolley?
Yeah, it's twice the size of a.
Yeah, but you have it on a trolley. That should be okay then.
Well, I have to bring a trolley. I'll sort it out. If you need, yeah. And I'm bringing a quarter of like a rear cut of a rear quarter guard cut thingy for Dylan as well. And
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch. I got a whole bunch of parts that are heading back up to Queensland, so I need to bring them out with me too.
That sounds like a good segue for QR then, because you kind of got your car running, I think.
Yeah,
You were meant to go. So you head up last week. You meant to go to
yeah, so I
Archie.
headed up last Wednesday night to get up to Port Macquarie just to get a bit of a head start so we could get to Keeley Motorsport by midday or just after midday, just hoping that it would be a simple dyno run, and boom, away we go down to Archerfield, and that was not meant to be. It started burning spark plugs again almost straight away, which was not good. Well, only number 3 again, which was the one that had kept burning. Well, I don't even think so. I pulled off the trailer the day after I was on the last episode, and yeah, found that it actually burned a plug out at Wakefield again when I just thought it was the intake causing a vacuum leak. And then we swapped ahead over the weekend, hoping that that's what it would be, and that's why it was acting up, but it didn't seem like it ended up being head. Got it to Keeley, they put it on the dyno, did a few things, and it still was burning number 3. Then they did a run, and it started blowing a whole lot of coolant out of the overflow, so it started lifting the head. Then we found it, yeah, and
Okay.
because I'd only put an OEM gasket back in it with the built head and then just head studs, so we ended up finding that it had also started scoring the journals for the cams, and I'm pretty sure it was just because the old cams had ended up picking up some crap at some stage, so I ended up having to go and buy another head. We quickly got that skimmed on Friday during the day, and the guys from JHH up there did a on the spot job almost with decking the head and resetting a couple of the valves, and basically I slapped on a completely stock head onto a completely stock bottom end, metal head gasket, head studs, and we put it up on the dyno. It ended up melting number 3 again in the early hours of Saturday morning.
Yeah, okay.
At that stage, I'd gone back to accommodation, gone to sleep, because the guys at Keeley have a car competing in open class at World Time Attack this weekend, and Russell and Benny pulled an all-nighter, ended up making a few other changes and trying to rewire some stuff, and I got a call later on Saturday morning to say, come get the car. It stopped, they've managed to get it to stop burning plugs, so come get it. It's making a solid 225 on 22 psi.
Ooh, 22. That's a lot.
Yeah, well,
that's power.
that. Yeah, boost creeps after that, and with stock cams and all that sort of stuff. So that's where it's at for the weekend. Got out to QR Matsuri, and it had been wet all morning. The Curse boys had said that I hadn't missed out on much because it absolutely sucked while it was wet, as we found out in March anyway. And yeah, then the car ran on song all weekend. I pulled the spark plugs out a couple of times just to make sure that electrodes were still attached, and electrodes were still attached this time.
Nice.
And yeah, it was kind of nice to actually be on low power, and yeah, 45 psi in the drive, 45 psi in the tires, and just foot pinned through turn 2 through that turn 2 dipper section, and just a whole bunch of reclutches to stay in third, and yeah, it was cool. Actually quite enjoyed it.
So no pit review this time.
Nah.
Nice.
Garage review. Keeley Motorsport was really good.
Yep.
Spent a lot of time there. A couple of really late nights there trying to get shit organised, but yeah, not too much time in the pits other than letting the car cool down, and yeah, that was good.
So,
but yeah, overall,
stock is good.
Yeah, stock is good, but it's not staying that way.
Oh, okay.
So the car stayed up in Queensland. The guys at Keeley are gonna
Still,
fix up the wiring because it was just a temporary sort of fix up wiring job to in sort of searching for what it might be, and then yeah, a few other little bits and pieces I want to do and get some cams back in that head so that that turbo actually gets used a little bit better, and yeah, hopefully should have that back in time for the North Circuit event. So that's me out for Wakefield at this stage, but I know you've thrown me an offer of a car, but I ain't got no trailer.
there's a trailer down here already, by the way.
Yeah, but aren't you trailering something up?
No,
Oh,
it's
you're
just
talking about
Steve.
Steve's?
Yeah.
Ooh. Hmm.
Ooh, yes, Steve. If Steve doesn't reply in the next 5 seconds, then it means it's okay. 1, 2. Actually, no, this is delayed, so we'll give him 10 seconds.
Oh, I think we're there already.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so it's okay. He's
So what I
okay
need
with
to do
it.
is, so I need to buy the $300 pair of coilovers like Blaken to give to you,
300?
and
Nah. Oh, yeah, actually, it was less than that, wasn't it? Like 280. His ones.
yeah, something like that. So, oh Jesus, Jai's shared his video that is, mate. Jai, your video of me is still unlisted, mate. So you got to list that so I can share it.
What's the
Um,
video of?
oh, Jai did a little, jumped in the car with me on Saturday afternoon when it was wet and did a little bit of a vlog.
Jai
Oh
did.
no, yeah, was that?
Jai's vlogging now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Jai is the vlog master.
Oh, is he? Are you gonna plug him?
So
Because I heard. Actually, no. We'll get back. We'll get up a bit later on.
yeah,
But
we'll get there.
yeah.
Um, and Ty that we had on a couple of weeks ago says he can confirm he did see me on track, but mate, I did not see you on track all that
Oh,
much.
I heard he got one lap, didn't he? And then his car broke.
Yeah, we need Ty, give us some updates in the comments, mate, because you did not get a whole lot of track time, and it was pointless even trying to come and talk to you because all your fangirls were all over you. So
That's after he
it
came on
was.
our show, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the fact that he was attached to the Hoonigan guys or anything. It was just the fact that after being on the clutch kick, he just had the girls wet and they were all over him.
Yeah. So you don't actually know what happened.
Nah, no idea. All I know is once my car got there and it was working, I wanted to drive.
You didn't get. Yeah.
I did. Honestly,
How many
I did
laps
not
did you
care.
get?
It's hard to
A,
remember because
a
low
lot.
power
That's
means
good.
I didn't.
Because
Yeah, low
every
power means
time
I
I think
didn't
you
burn through
go.
tires.
Every time I think you just go, oh yeah, I got 6 laps that time. I got 2, and my car broke. Or I got 4 laps. I think 12's
Nah,
the most I heard before.
nah. I think yeah, I would have been up into the 20s at least. Nah, but then that was me not going too crazy. No, yeah, well and truly into that because I did the Sunday morning again where I got there early and whipped out on track, and I think I got 4 or 5 laps in the first 20 minutes before it turns back into Matsuri spec traffic jams. But yeah, definitely some cool cars. Definitely not as much fun as being with you guys up there. Yeah, whenever I went tandem line, there was pretty clicky with their little groups. Unless you're in front, then nobody really wanted to let you join part of their group. I had a
Yeah.
couple of S14s jump on the back of me, which made me happy that they were happy to keep following me for a little while. I think I did 4 laps where they just kept jumping onto the back of me, and didn't matter which of the 2 tracks I went to, they kept following where I went. But yeah, there was a couple other cars that I would be the car behind them and try to go with them, and they were like, "Nah, only 3 cars or whatever,"
Yeah.
which was a
That's
bit
boring.
shitty.
Yeah.
And then I got a few good tandem runs in with Sam from Curse Sundays with the red RX-7 that had some
Yes.
unfortunate incidents on Monday, but we will cover that a little bit
I think
after.
Ty's just posted a response, but I can't see it.
Um,
If you want a quick read of it.
Saturday was actually poo. Had this weird misfire on full throttle. Injector numbers positive was being pulled out. Couldn't figure out till late. after changing everything under the sun. So yeah, similar sort of shit to mine, I guess. Just yeah, gremlins. Had you changed? If you're still listening, had you changed much since the bash? Because your car ran pretty mint at the bash.
This car looks like it's
Uh,
like completely made over.
yeah, the
Had a
car's
big
completely
refresh. It looked
yeah, it's
cool.
had a big refresh. Yeah, it was like the best looking car out there. Normally, I'm not a fan of those clear taillights on the 13s, but I don't know, something about the whole fact that the whole car sort of slaps you in the face makes it cool. So
Okay. I
you know
only
what I
saw a
mean?
few
Like how it's like,
photos. Yeah.
yeah, it definitely had cool track presence. Uh, he said, yeah, just having cooling system issues on Sunday, but we get about 6 laps before it, yeah, did its own thing.
Okay. Oh well.
Um, but
What?
yeah, overall, typical Queensland Matsuri, huge turnout, huge amount of cars. There were a few big accidents on short course on Saturday
Yeah, I was
when it
gonna
was
ask if you
damp.
actually got on there because I
I
didn't
didn't
see
bother.
any
I
videos of
wasn't.
you.
Yeah, no, I wasn't all that interested in heading over there, to be honest.
Really?
Especially with the especially with the weather being sketchy. Because after I saw the two major accidents that had happened on short from Saturday, they were not good. Car got written off pretty badly, went in backwards and supposedly snapped the steering wheel and the back of the the back of the genuine bride seats. Those guys weren't in a good way after that.
Yeah, that
And,
was the guy with the wooden steering wheel, wasn't it?
yeah, and then there was
And then
another one that went head on and ended up like the nose of the car went perfectly into the corner of the two barriers at the 90 degree. And yeah, that didn't look all that great either. Like that looks repairable, but just the
yeah,
sudden stop wouldn't have felt all that nice for
I
those
saw the
guys.
video. He looked like he was on the brake for ages.
Yeah, yeah, just yeah, not good. And a few other accidents here and there. There was a silly one on the front straight. A guy in a 13 or something spun out and then on 180 sort of came into the side of him and yeah, bananaed the car, but he just covered that in tape and drove the next day. And then a few other little accidents, but yeah, I sort of stayed out of trouble, and the Curse boys stayed out of trouble. Uh,
Did the Revolution guys head up as well?
nah, the only Sydney guys was uh, the Cursed guy, 5 of the Cursed guys. Adam Brooks and myself were the only the only sort of lower New South Wales guys. Of course, there was a few from more up the coast, but I think we
Yeah.
were the furthest south guys. And yeah, Brooksy had a few issues. He was getting boost cut, but uh, he ended up just pulling the blow off valve off the vacuum line and blocking that, and then basically got the blow off valve bleeding air instead of the wastegate bleeding air. So I'm pretty sure he's got a wastegate, either diaphragm that's flogged or the fact that the wastegate in general is just flogged. But he managed to drive the rest of the weekend. Chev had issues on Thursday at Archie. The car actually caught on fire, and
Oh,
they
really?
found that
Shit.
yeah. So they managed to get it on a dyno on Friday, and they just had to do some stuff with the fuel pump, and yeah, his ended up working, but he was having a few issues with uh, the single pump in the Verossa is also used to backfill the side of the fuel tank that uh, has the fuel pump, I guess. So because it sits over the rear seats, it's got you know got the tunnel in it,
Yeah.
and so it's got to pick up fuel from the other side, but it only runs the single pump with like a little jet pump thing on the side of it, and it kept dropping. He has this custom made cradle thing, and it just it's a prototype that somebody sent him, and it just having little dramas with that. So he kept chasing little dramas, but he got that going, and then he was able to drive it on Monday as well, and it performed okay. Hoonigan guys, Ty, correct me if I'm wrong. We're having the car wasn't always up to snuff, and they were just getting swamped with people. I don't think they got a huge amount of time to themselves at all.
What were they driving?
So,
Because
Tide
there was a
organised them a
chair
black
Slayer
180.
guy, which
Yeah,
I
he
he's
yeah he he's borrowed somebody's hand control car.
yeah. That's what I was wondering. Is there another guy? I don't know, but was there
Then there was
are
her.
there?
Then there was her and Brandon, and yeah, Tide organised a 180 for those guys. And I think, yeah, I didn't see those that out on track all that much, but when you're dealing with 250 cars, you're all out on track at different times. So,
Yeah.
Dry's confirmed to me that it was a 3D printed pump holder, and yeah, the E85 basically ate it.
Oh, okay. I thought there's a Okay, well, never mind. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I know there's different plastics available for the 3D printer stuff, and
Yep.
I
Well,
thought
if you
they
guys
weren't very strong anyway to
if
begin
you,
with, especially with heat as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So if you're gonna make parts for fuel tanks, make sure you're using plastic that's okay for that. And yeah, I think overall another big Matsuri, pretty successful. I was pretty surprised that they don't really care about their officials and they're allowed to stand out in a lightning storm, but I guess they go down to Centrelink after the event and pick up a few more if those ones get struck by lightning. So,
Okay,
but if I'm
was
gonna
it that
go
bad?
back, oh, Saturday the lightning was pretty awful. It was pretty scary. So yeah, I was
Okay,
surprised, but hey, is what it is.
yep.
Um, but if I'm gonna go back again, I would make sure I go with a group like you guys again, or
There was
yeah,
only three of
it
us
was good.
last
Just
time, I think.
yeah, I don't know. If my car was
Oh
working
no,
better and
four.
then I was
Jake was there as well. Yeah.
yeah, and I was more organized with the curse guys, then I would have probably got some more tandems in. But I was just happy to be driving at that stage. But yeah, I don't know. Last Matsuri for me was more fun in respects to the driving, just because you were there to try and run into me, so it made me push a little bit harder. So I'd like to do that again. So let me know when we're going back again.
Yeah, I want to go back. Just have to get some money together. It's a long trip. Like it's as in distance wise, it's a lot to cover, and then paying for the event, and then everything else associated with it.
Yeah.
It's easier if you're in Queensland, but yeah, it's quite a expensive trip.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Oh, I don't. We don't make as much money as you do.
Yeah, the Curse Boys did it on the cheap though. They all slept in the garage and did all that. They roughed it the whole trip.
Yeah. Okay.
They camped the whole way through the drive up.
Oh,
Um,
really?
staying when they were staying up there, and then on the way home when we stayed at port, they camped it at port. So, yeah, overall pretty good. Definitely pretty good trip. But yeah, I'd like to do it again, but with a few more guys and just be a little bit more organized, and everybody get pit lane instead because pit lane's so much easier.
It's all right. I don't know. It looked good, but yeah.
So much. So this Matsuri was definitely busier than the last one because the pit area was, yeah, absolute shambles. You know how the space between the carports and the pit garages
Garages. Yeah.
wasn't too bad. It was like a lot
Yeah.
of support vehicles.
Yeah.
This time was like a whole bunch of people pitted and people camping, and yeah, it was just absolutely manic.
So that's what Joel said. How did it go for track time then? Was it like massive long
Uh,
waits? Anything longer than
depended
last
what
time?
at times, and it just you got lucky sometimes and didn't get lucky at others. It just depended on how you sort of push through it. But I wouldn't say any more than maybe if it was running smooth without people getting stuck, which wasn't very often, maybe 10-15 minutes between runs. But if people were getting stuck and doing dumb shit, then yeah, it was a little bit longer. And
Okay.
yeah, one of my favorite parts of the weekend was when there was a couple of cars that had to be pulled out, and this was Saturday night, and you sort of came out onto the track and you could just see the rainbow of oil at that start point before turn 2.
Yeah.
and they weren't even letting the cars transit around to the 3-6 section. And Hayden, one of the kamikaze guys, and a couple of the other kamikaze guys got out of their cars and were just running as fast as they could, and then trying to slide up the oil slick up the track. So that was pretty entertaining to watch while we were waiting for track to be cleared.
Okay, so if you were to pick spring or autumn Matsuri, which one would you pick to go to again?
Considering they say the autumn one's the quiet one, I would just keep going back to autumn one and try and get to be part of a bigger group to be able to do more tandems, because I guess the locals up there sort of stick to their groups, and the group of guys that I knew, which was the Curse Boys, of course, and then the guys up in Queensland, Chopper and Darren Zeller were both in NA cars. So Darren had Shani's new 1V with an RB30, just E, nothing else. And then Chopper was driving his 180 with just an SR20 DE. And they weren't all that much fun to tandem with because they were very slow.
That's just another thing to learn.
Yeah, no, it's good. It was good. I did a few runs with them. I let out a couple of times, and then I chased them a couple of times. But my car got more hot chasing those guys than it did just just pinned the rest of the lap. And of course, Loose Chopper he'd finish through turn 6, wouldn't drift up the front straight, would get through the little slow point just in front of the control tower, and then he'd start swinging and munging again before turn 1, before he had to grid up. Typical Chop doing loose things.
Was he doing the no foot brake, no slow down sideways technique again?
No. He was just straight up swinging it.
All right. Okay.
Well, that was good. And he told me I should judge National Series next season, mate.
Kick me out?
He just said I gave good feedback and let the drivers know what I wanted as practice went on and stuff. So he said I should do more judging. But see, now that my car might actually work, I'm like, yeah, that's not happening.
All right.
So you're safe for a little while. I'd probably take Steve's job.
Steve needs to drive, actually. Yeah.
I think.
But his car's never going to run again. Actually, no. I reckon 10 years. So around the 10-year mark, back on the road.
Rough. That's pretty rough.
Steve.
A86 is gonna be worth $100,000 by then.
I know. That's probably why he's going to fix it.
He'll only be able to afford a KE70, which is, by then it's gonna be about $75,000, I think.
No, I don't think it'll take that much to fix that car. It's
no, but that's just what they're gonna be worth.
But yeah, a lot of it's I don't think it's that bad. I think it's a lot of work, but that's about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And so then on Sunday night we headed. Well,
actually, did you catch up with the Hoonigan guys?
No, as I said, they were getting swamped with people, and I just
show them your card to say, it's clutch kick. You need a.
No.
We know you want to talk to us.
No, nothing.
No. Okay. Disappointing. You didn't even say hello.
Yeah.
Autograph.
No.
You didn't give
I went down to try and find Ty, and he wasn't around at one stage, and then the rest of the time I saw them, they were just getting smashed with people. So at that stage, out of respect, just give him some space.
Okay.
Gave Ty the finger a couple of times on track, and that's about as close as I got. So
did he get his car running in the end, or was it?
Yeah, he's got a handful
just
of laps
on and off. Okay.
Yeah, on and off, and then just they're doing filming and doing all sorts of stuff, so they were busy with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was all promo stuff. And then Sunday night we headed down to me and the Curse guys camped down at Port Macquarie go-kart track for just a bit of a unorganised private sesh at Port. I had left the car up in Queensland to get stuff fixed up, as I said, and so Chev, Daniel, Jai, and Sam drove. Dan Cardzi, who's the one with the SR powered 13, where the rest of them all have JZ powered ones. He had done potentially a clutch fork over Matsuri weekend. So
Done a clutch fork.
yeah, because it's so they still have pedal feel and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it was probably just the fork bending. You know how on the S chassis that you end up where the dimple is for where the
Yeah.
pivot point is, they crack sometimes.
Really? What sort of
Yeah,
clutch is he running? I've heard of the balls breaking, so they'll slowly start bending, and it feels like something's off with the
yeah.
fork, and then all
See,
it
I've never
is the
actually.
balls sort of slightly like it gets to a point where it'll bend a little bit, and then suddenly just fail, and then just that's it.
Yeah,
You
see, I've
can't
never
actually use it.
seen. Yeah, I've never seen the ball actually fail. I've only ever seen it bent, like cracking at the. Uh, yeah, cracking at that little dimple.
Okay.
So yeah, he had no clutch. So on Monday, those guys got to drive a little bit. I drove Jai's car for 2 laps. Almost had Chev crash into me because on my out lap, he jumped on my door thinking I was Jai because I was doing a better job than Jai. And yeah, then I snapped out of drift not knowing that there was a car sitting right on my ass, and he pulled up beside me being like, yeah, basically just soiled his driver's seat. So, but that Jai's car is just a piece of piss to drive. It is so easy.
Why? What's so good about it?
I
I
don't
heard you,
know.
you
I don't
mentioned it,
know.
and then you didn't elaborate. You said, yeah, it's good to drive, but then like we're thinking, oh, you're comparing his car to your car, which doesn't really run normally. So
That is fair. I don't know. At Port, you just put it in third, considering he put burnout tires on the car for me. Put it in third, just keep reclutching and just basically blaze the whole track. And
it's like a shopping trolley. You just turn the wheel. It's kind of like Wisefab, is it?
yeah. Look, honestly, it's in some ways it's probably nicer, but my Wisefab's probably not set up all that great. I probably need to put some Ackerman in it rather than having zero Ackerman. Because even at QR, I'd find if I went to too much lock, again, it would just want to sort of push itself out wide on the track. So I'd keep coming out of throttle where, yeah, his car was pretty predictable for the little while I drove it. And yeah, it just was easy. And the talk of the 1J was always just there. And if you needed to, a quick reclutch and yeah, bagged him back up again. So yeah, car was super nice to drive. And yeah, it was just definitely cool to have Port sort of to ourselves. We had to jump off track when people came to use the rental carts, but there wasn't all that many of them, so the guys could sort of just take their time. But when you run Port with no other cars, the cars get hot really quickly, and sadly Sam with the SR powered RX-7 had the bonnet. We're pretty sure it was the bonnet catch on fire. He did 5 laps
Oh shit!
continuous of Port,
Yeah,
and
I was wondering
that
what happened.
really
I
quick.
was
And
the
so
photos
we're pretty
looked
sure because
really
he wasn't.
bad. It looked like it was actually on fire, like actually
It
blazing.
was on. It was on fire.
Okay.
So he had pulled up. Chev was up checking the new tire change. Well, potentially a tire changer at Port, and so the guy who owns the lease was sort of busy doing that stuff, and I saw the car pull up. He jumped out, and I was like, "Oh, it won't be a big deal. He'll get it running again," because it had ignition leads come out when I was battling, or just having tandems with him at QR Matsuri because it ended up with water in the injector holes. But yeah, within probably 20 seconds, the bonnet was fully ablaze, and yeah, major fire. So they were able to get a fire extinguisher on it. There were some pretty interesting ways of trying to put out the fire before we got the big extinguisher down there, like trying to find tires from the tire wall that were full of water to try and put it out. But
No one had extinguisher, like even a hand one.
no, well,
It
Ristic
it
and
was
Chev
really bad.
Yeah, Ristic and Chev pulled theirs out, and that shit was done within a couple of
Oh
seconds.
shit.
Like it didn't do anything. So what we're pretty sure is that either the bonnet caught on fire because it's a carbon fiber bonnet, but it's
Yeah.
got a fiberglass underlay, and we're pretty sure that that may have been sitting on the rear housing. And after 5 laps, the car's cooking, and his water temps and stuff were all fine because he's got a big V mount set up and the car's pretty mint with that stuff. But I'm pretty sure it would have just heat soaked, or it may have been a catch can line, like a breather line, just behind the dump that caught on fire, and then the rest all went up. So doesn't look. Hopefully the turbo and the motor are okay. His plan was to rewire for a Haltech anyway. So yeah, hopefully that's all it is. And then once we got his car up onto the trailer, I sort of legged it out of there and got out of there. But the other boys stuck around and drove a little bit more. But yeah, so I got to speak to the Rob, the guy who runs Awesome Drive, and he needs. So basically, looking at for anybody who hasn't looked at the subreg section of the Awesome Drive membership deal, I told him he needs to make that a little bit more public. But if you look in the terms and conditions, if you go on the website, it's actually got the full regs breakdown. And so the membership offer at the 500 and whatever it is works out about $65 or something an event. Regular event's going to be about $200. According to his subregs. So really, if you're planning on going to port more than 3 times in the year, if you're going 3 times at least, then the membership deal really is a good deal because it's more than paid for itself at that stage. They're going to continue basically doing free camping at the track, which is also really good. So yeah, look, he's trying to do some stuff. He's talking about potentially letting people store cars there, which would be fairly interesting. It's almost a New South Wales version of Archie. I'd probably almost consider having like an AU Falcon or a bit of a slapper up there, so I'm not too worried about if anybody breaks in and steals parts off it or anything. But it also means that if you wanted to drive up there on a Friday night to drive on Saturday, you don't have to stress about loading all your crap up. You can show up with a couple of pairs of tires and tools, and you basically, the car's there set ready to go. Show up with a couple of jerry cans and you can drive without having distressed too much. So if that comes to fruition, that would be pretty good.
How far is that for you in terms of hours?
4 and a
Okay.
half, which isn't awful. It's just far if you're trying to if you're trying to tow. Like it's close enough that on a Friday night, if you didn't have to get yourself organised and you were hanging for a skid, that you could get in the car and just be like, you know what, I'm going to drive up and go drive. But if you've got to put the car on the trailer, get organised, do all that sort of stuff, and then get up there, it's far enough that it becomes that little bit more work. So if you get what I mean.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's can kind of relate to it, like when we go to Japan, but we spend a week there. It's
Yeah.
kind of like very loosely, but it's
Yeah.
nice to like have no heavy lifting before you get there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like to try and get that organised is a lot of hard work for the then having to do, let's call it a 10-hour round trip, considering you've got to stop at least, or I would have to stop at least once for petrol. So if they offer car storage there, but basically he's looking for an investment of around $170,000. So if anybody's interested in throwing money at the track or knows anybody who's willing to invest, they're trying to get a resurface done, potentially adding another link road so that certain days that they can run hire carts at one end and keep drifting going on another end. This is just ideas he's thrown around. They're also looking at setting up a skid pan on part of the property. At this stage, it's just outside the pit area, but basically setting up a skid pan area. Some ideas were thrown around while we were there to potentially use it to host some burnout events, but at that stage, it would have to be concrete because you can't use asphalt for burnout comps because it's just not worth using asphalt for burnout comps because you just destroy the asphalt so quickly. So yeah, that would be cool, but at this stage, yeah, they're wanting to resurface first, but he needs a bit of an investment for that because he's still tied up with the Kembla track and yeah, trying to deal with some dramas with that. So if anybody's actually interested in that membership, jump on it and make it happen because yeah, they're desperate to do some work to that track and definitely got some cool ideas, and there's new fencing that's gone up so that hosting events there should be a little bit easier and not having to worry, because when we were there last, you're able to basically get to trackside without having to pay entry or go through the main gates, but now they've started securing more of the property line so that it's, say, a DCA came to town, you can basically have it so that people can't come and spectate for nothing. And at this stage, it sounds like for that track, every dollar is going to go back into it because it's a the actual karting association that owns it is a non-for-profit. So basically, any money that track makes, goes back into paying its staff or paying for upkeep. So
yeah, cool. And that is a pretty cheap deal because I was trying to figure out if it's actually worth it, but I don't think I'd actually go up that much. But anyone else,
yeah,
probably you've
if
got
you're from
Newcastle.
Newcastle,
Would be
if
so
you're
good.
if you're between Newcastle and
Coughs.
or even Tweed,
Okay.
I would, that's, or maybe a little bit below Tweed, but it's a pretty good deal. If you're going to go 3 times, or you think you're going to go 3 times, yeah, it's a really good deal. And I think it's 3 weekends and 8 weekdays, and 5 weekdays you get given anyway as part of your deal. So there you go, your 3 weekends, you've already saved, $15 or something. So
And you
yeah,
get Cam's membership, don't you? Was that not included
double.
in
I'm
SA?
not sure. Yeah, they're under AASA, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so you get that license as well, however much that costs elsewhere, $50, $60, $70 or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, look, as I said, if people are genuinely interested and they want that track to stay open, jump onto the membership if you think you're actually going to make it there. And yeah,
you can
go
even
for it.
join up even if you don't make it there.
Yeah, look, and if people want to throw a bigger investment behind it, contact the Awesome Drive page, or at least have a look at it and look at details, or if anybody knows of people wanting to invest in that sort of thing, contact Rob and have a chat with him, because he's wanting to do some big things with the place, but he's worried that the drift community won't get behind it. But with how far away it is from a major center, it's going to take a little bit of work.
Yeah.
But I think
And most
hopefully
drifters are broke
there's
as well.
yeah, we explained all that, but it's just a matter of trying to
Selling
get.
it.
I think even building and building a bit of a drift culture in port itself. So
Yeah. No, I think they've got. I have a few friends from Port, and they had car shows around there, like imports and stuff.
yeah,
I never heard of any driving events, just lots of like show and shine stuff. So I
yeah,
think they are interested, and just maybe something like this wasn't available to them before. Maybe I don't know because I'm not there, but it could be. This could also be new for them, like having a facility like this available in the area, and it might bring more people out, and maybe they don't even know about it. Maybe.
yeah.
So, be cool. It's a cool area too, I think.
Honestly, the getting to go there without Mike having car dramas or without the hoopla that was the first event there and so many people, it's such a beautiful little track. Like it chalks tires, and it's it's a little bit rough on the cars because it's such a long little track. But yeah, it's such a beautiful little track. We camped there, and I slept in the car, and you wake up and there's a goanna just walking down the tile wall. We had the bonfire going the night before.
Yeah, right.
Uh, yeah, it's just, I hate to say it, but it's probably a cleaner version of Rally.
Oh no. He's stirring trouble now.
Without the bloody crappy in and out road that feels like it's going to shake your car apart.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh my god, it is painful.
No, I think you're just driving a
Nah, it's
crap
pretty.
car.
Nah, no, I don't mean my actual car. I mean like the trailering in car. Like the road in and out at Rally is absolutely crap.
Yeah, you're
So for what?
holding.
No, but just everything feels like it's going to fall apart. Even when I didn't have the trailer with me, it felt like it was going to fall apart.
Okay.
But yeah, I think a round of DCA there maybe.
Maybe.
If if the Fink's listening. Look, I spoke to him, and Rob's interested. Basically anything that wants to happen there, he's open to talks for it. He's even building himself his own BMW death cart for the track.
I heard that. That was a bit. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
interesting too.
knew.
I said, isn't there rules like bonnets and stuff like that? And he's like, it's okay.
Windscreen. Shit.
Hey,
Oh, now
you
you've
say
said that,
windscreens.
you're gonna see, like as
Wait,
in windshields at least.
hey, so I went. He's got this tandem shifter cart, and basically, yeah, I was riding bitch on the back of this shifter cart. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and he's drifting the whole track in this thing, and it's fast as hell, and I'm just getting peppered with rocks. Um, it was pretty fun. I have to say that, but yeah, there
Do you wear a
was,
helmet?
of course I wore a helmet. I'm not retarded. Depend
Was it
upon on
optional,
the.
or did he go?
Nah,
Did you
nah,
go?
nah.
Do I need
Like,
to wear a helmet? He goes, it's up to you. And then you decided it's a wise idea to put a helmet on.
nah, nah, nah. I had a helmet on from the get go. It would have been like I'm facing the firing squad if I didn't have a helmet on. So, no, look, Port, the guy wants to do big things with it. He just needs some support. We were throwing around ideas of trying to do like almost a grid lifey type festival or something, like try and have like a band come in, or live music at night
uh,
time, and sort of have just have like, but have as a big
um,
hangout where sort of everybody hangs and get a liquor license for the night or something, and just turn it into a big, I don't know, basically
I
just
can
trying to
get the
raise money
liquor
for the track in some
license,
way.
but yeah, I never was really a fan of music. I guess I've never been to a good one because every other one where they had bands and live music is just like
No, no, but yeah, but
DJs and
I
shit.
think we're talking more a DJ, but I think it's just an excuse for everybody to hang
Nah.
out and
Yeah.
get a little bit loose with some of that stuff. So,
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
but that's all ideas just being thrown around at this stage.
I
But
thought
hopefully,
the bash stuff was cool because there was lots of media and there's so many cars there, so many different cars.
yeah, but again, that was where the tracks basically set a price. People have paid the price to rent the track out, and then off you go. So I think the track needs a little bit more upfront money to get some work done.
I didn't even
To
know
get
how
away
much
that
the event was, how much that event was.
uh, track rental at this stage, I think it's like 5 or 6 for a day.
Okay.
Which isn't too bad. Free camping, all that sort of stuff. It may go up. I'm not sure, but that's roughly what they're currently charging. But yeah, look, the hard part is you do something like what we did on Monday, where it was only a few of us, and we had the freedom to do our own thing, and it's all as me and Rob discussed, it's sensible guys, as sensible as that group of guys can sort of be, but it's, as Rob put it, it's the drivers who show up and show respect to the venue and to the people running the establishment, and then the people who show up and just don't show respect, and that's why the invite events have sort of been the go-to currently,
Okay.
because then somebody's answerable to those things, and if people know that people aren't sensible or whatever, generally they're not, allowed to enter and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's why they're sort of stuck with the invite to start with rather than doing public events, because public events is when you start to get, just dudes who are a little less experienced, and until they get uh, the concrete in on some of the corners that they want to get it in to stop all the dirt drops and little bits and
Yeah.
pieces like that, it just, yeah.
Or people without guidance anyway. So because
Yeah,
sometimes there's pretty fresh people, and then they still are okay.
yeah.
I've seen,
Look,
not talking about that event, but just some other events I've been to where
oh,
yeah they've been
no,
in a group and they've been pretty fresh, but they have that group to sort of influence this guy's
yeah,
decisions, and it was he was very similar to the rest of them, so it was good.
yeah. Where even QR Matsuri, there was a 14 there that I didn't feel like should have come to a Matsuri. Basically, he needed a little bit more time doing track events, and I understand that there's only the 2 weekend events at QR, but this guy was basically rolling into the dipper in second gear and going super slow, and yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the place. That's not the right event to go and learn at, and something like, say, the Bash is not the place to go and sort of learn that driving. So having sort of more open practice days would be a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think as a driver, you show up to those events and be like, yeah, I'm going to get stuck with people who are good or not so good. But yeah, maybe we need to do it like they have in some of the race categories where the guys end up with L or P plates on the back of their cars. So, like, hey, like, I'm a freshie on this day, just if I'll wait till you're sort of 4 corners in rather than waiting till you clear the first corner to go chasing after you.
Yeah, maybe, but that's what you've got I feel you've got the track marshals or like the.
Uh, I think we
Because
get spoiled. I think we get spoiled a little bit in New South Wales because we get like the Revo guys running those days, and they sort of get a feel for what's
yeah, but you
drivers are like.
should.
Where yeah, but honestly at QR they couldn't have given two hoots about who was going. They'd wave you through, and then I'd sit on the line because I had a feeling that somebody else would spin, and especially if you're doing turn 2 through the dipper, you don't want somebody ruining that run, and also you're coming in pretty hot, so if they spin going into the dipper, you don't want to be coming at them that quick. And a couple of times I'd hang back, and the guys on the start line are like frantically waving at me to get going, and you're just like, shit, like let me hang for a bit. Like I just know I'm going to catch up to that dude and he's going to have spun, and 9 times out of 10 that was the case. So
Yeah, okay.
so yeah, I think that's why at this stage they'd been running mostly invite or all invite events at this stage for the rest of this year, and then they're looking at doing some of their regular own events. What would be cool, considering what we were able to do on Monday, it would be interesting to speak to Rob again and find out if random drop-ins is a thing and what sort of pricing that would be. Because if you're, say, passing through, for us back from
Oh yeah.
a QR Matsuri, or even from like DCA up in Queensland, or a round of rally, and you can just stitch on another day, because you
Yeah.
could drive till 2 o'clock and you could be back in Canberra by a reasonable hour if you're already going to lose Monday anyway.
Yeah.
It just sort of, hey, I've got a couple of sets to burn. What's it going to cost me to jump on the track? So yeah, it'd be
That'll be
interesting to
cool.
know. Because I don't know, that just a quiet little day gives you that whole thing of like, it's just so chill and being able to roll out there in your own time, and yeah, I don't know.
You should
But
come to Japan with us sometime.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Of course,
yeah, we'll
after
see.
that's point. No, you should actually come sooner than later because it is changing a bit.
Yeah, but I got a car. Oh, well, I've got a car that works currently, so now I just wanna drive.
You can drive. You can drive other cars. Then you probably at the point of trying to experience some other types of cars,
Look,
brands,
I think
makes.
I'm actually pretty. I think I'm pretty good at jumping into other people's cars now.
No, no, that's your first fail there.
Nah, like,
Overconfidence. No, you're gonna put in the
nah,
water.
nah, I'm not. Nah, I'm not overconfident, but I'm not as shit as I would think I would be jumping other people's cars.
I don't know. I've seen your handwork or lack of handwork.
Hey, Hey, you've seen it from the inside, but when you
I,
watch it from
I
the outside, it looks pretty smooth.
no, it doesn't. It looks so much more. It looks like, oh no, he's let go of steering wheel again. Oh no, what's he doing? Anyway,
It's
I saw
see,
you. No, actually, I saw some of your video, and then so my first thought was, is he actually going to get faster? But no, my second thought was, your steering wheel's actually gotten better. You're not letting go of the steering wheel as much, and you sort of, it looks
am I
better.
gonna go faster? That was me pinned.
Oh, okay, all right.
I was,
Well,
I was, I was literally not lifting
yeah, you lifted more than I thought you should have.
from the in-car one,
Yeah, in car.
which the one of like the video of just me
It was the one where it was
or the
quite
live
long.
stream
I
from the
think it was like,
morning.
yeah, like 10
Yeah,
minutes. I didn't
yeah,
watch
yeah.
all of it. Yeah, so I thought, oh, okay. Is he actually going to get speed in any of these runs? And then I just gave up. But no, I did actually watch his steering work, and I
That,
thought that was better.
yeah, no, that was me pretty much pinned the whole way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think you go faster.
nah. Through turn two, I couldn't go any faster. That was me pinned in third.
You can get in the
Um,
gas a bit earlier, and then just put a bit more angle
yeah,
on.
look, honestly, yeah. On my last 3 laps on Sunday, I felt like I was able to get back on it earlier and was able to sort of drive it that little bit more. Jumping in with Jai on Saturday started to give me that confidence a little bit, and then as yes, feeling what his car was doing and when he was doing all that stuff, and
Yeah.
then on Sunday afternoon, I sort of found it because my last 3 laps I wanted to go full ham and chucked on a new pair and yeah, I felt like I was able to get on it earlier, which was something that for a while I had no confidence to do. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting there, mate. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you just need more practice.
Yeah, of course. I got a car that
Go.
might actually work now.
My, my.
Well, yeah, but it should.
Get a practice car.
Jesus, I will get there.
You've got
Let me
space
fix
now to
this.
get a practice car.
Yeah, until the other one comes back.
Yeah, that's all right. Just buy
But
it
I,
now
but I
and
have,
then sell
but
it.
I have no money because I'm doing work on the
No,
other one.
you make so much money. You'll be all right.
I want to get everybody's like, how do you
You
afford to do
you
what
live
you
in a
do? I'm
mansion in the middle of
like I live at
town,
home.
and you
Yeah,
have
at home.
you have someone looking after. Like you have a maid that looks after you, cooks and cleans for you.
I'm so glad my mum doesn't listen to this shit. I would seriously be living on the street right now. Yeah, see, Chopper said I gapped him through turn two, in his DE.
He was taking it easy. He's a DE. He was
Yeah,
taking it easy. If he did his
I was I was
full,
at I
if
was
he
in a
did
stock
his full no
SR20.
brake stuff, then yeah, you would definitely have no
Mine was
chance.
mine was just stock with a turbo. Oh
A
look,
two and a
okay,
half
I
thousand
did
dollar
have
turbo.
no, not quite that much, but close.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was making 80 kilowatt, and he was on skinny tires, and I was on 220 whatever kilowatt, and I was on wider tires. So we were trying to spin like power for trying to spin tires. We were probably about even.
I don't even know where you're going with this point.
And neither do I. Dry
Yeah.
said it felt Dry said it felt laggy. It was a little bit lazy with having stock cams.
Okay.
So yeah, stop picking on me. My car actually worked, and I did more than 2 laps.
Yeah, I know. It's good. You just need to get a bit more time, more laps in it.
Yeah,
Different situations and things.
or I'll
A
just have
lot
to
more
use my rental
practice.
car from Wollongong.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you do that next time?
Nah, that thing I'll use way too many tires on that car.
Just use second handies. They're free.
Yeah, that's what he uses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we're on Sunday night down at Port. There was a bit of a revelation with Chev, the leader of the Curse Sundays, and there was an incident at QR. So Chev had gone to have a shower, which was probably the first one he had in 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
And
All right.
a couple made their way into the shower. May have been two dudes, may not have, may have been a dude and a woman. But Chev claims that he saw a flower tattoo on a foot, and he started making some random guesses as to who the guy may have been, and he did some Instagram investigations, but was unable to come up with any leads. So if anybody knows of anybody with a flower tattoo on their foot, we're investigating the shower incident, and yeah, any information in this case would be greatly appreciated. As Chev's just curious.
I feel there's some other information that's been omitted.
That's it. He said basically once he saw he heard them come in, and he was just like, he thought, oh, the couple's going to try and be quiet, and then it's like the girl was just like, what are you putting my towel in there for? And basically telling off the dude. And then at that stage, she saw a foot sort of come under his side of the cubicle, saw a flower tattoo, and then sort of made his way out of the shower. And yeah, then he did some Instagram investigations and hasn't been able to come up with the answers. So if anybody has any leads on that,
Why does he want to know? Did he actually witness something?
No, he didn't witness anything.
Oh.
But he just wants to know. It's just, he basically he wants to know, as he said in the comments just now, okay, who banged in the QR showers?
If you were given the opportunity, would you do it?
No. In those cubicles?
Really? Yeah.
No. Are you going to do it with me next time, EG?
We'll see. It depends if Chev's next door.
Chevlock's Holmes.
No. What? Chev's next.
No.
Yeah. Okay,
Chevlock Holmes.
If Chev's in the next cubicle, I'll think about it.
Well, what you could do is just, do it to yourself and finish on his foot.
No, I wouldn't do it without you.
All right, so we'll double his foot.
Oh, far out.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a major incident that happened at QR Matsuri. It was quite the topic of discussion. So look, I honestly, in that case, I'm hoping Chev's okay. A young guy like him should not have to go through a traumatic event like that. So yeah. Mate, Ryan, it is not a strange turn. It's an incident that happened, and there's a young man struggling to deal with the situation he was put in that he didn't choose to. He innocently went to have a shower at QR after feeling all grubby and struggling with his car on the weekend, and then he had to deal with that. He couldn't even go and have his own shower in peace. So. And shit, if the woman was already nagging the dude before they got started, then I can't blame Chev for legging it, because at some stage somebody was probably going to get thrown through a wall.
Why didn't he get his phone out? Phone out.
Look, there was many discussions. There was many discussions had about this sort of thing on Sunday.
This
Sunday,
could be a made up story.
No, he was pretty convinced because he was doing some thorough Instagram investigations. He knew what sort of hashtags to look up to try and suss that out too. But yeah, he was struggling. There's a guy named Effing Scotty on Facebook, and he said it was. I think he meant to say it was me, but I don't know who he is.
No, we need a photo of the foot then. We need a photo of that tattoo.
Yeah, basically, if you're going to lay claim to, if you're gonna lay claim to being that person, Chev needs to be able to identify
the tattoo.
The tattoo on the foot. Basically, if that tattoo can't be identified, it wasn't you. Ryan Flanagan from Up at Ipswich has said, feeling grubby at QR is a normal thing, but some ippy bogans getting it in on the shower sounds like a normal thing too. All right. Well, that's not really a surprise then. Maybe it's the only time they get showers there too. I think that's sort of all the QR thing. The Port Macquarie stuff. Yeah, look, they're looking to hit drifting pretty hard. If you can get up there and spend some money, get up there and spend some money. And if you want to do the membership thing, join up on the membership thing. If you know anybody who wants to invest more money up there, then there's those sort of opportunities up there as well. So just get in contact with Awesome Drive, and hopefully there are some more events happening next year. And if anybody's got ideas, sort of throw them at Chev. Chev's probably got better contact with Rob, and Rob's riding Chev's ass to try and help him build the base up at that track. So look, definitely big things to come, and I wanted to get my car and go back up there again because it was pretty fun to actually do it stress free, even if it was 2 laps in Jai's car.
Yeah, I'll have to go up there one day.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it was in conjunction with another event, because I'm pretty poor these days, so it'd be nice to do like a few things on the one trip.
Yeah, we could do rally. You could judge rally and then
No, I
stop
don't
on the
think
way
I'm
back.
allowed to.
Oh, because I understand.
No,
And you don't want to corrupt the series.
no,
What would be
yeah.
cool, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying it if Dylan's watching, it would be cool that if it was a combined series between Rally and Port Macquarie. A couple of rounds at Port,
Ooh,
a couple of rounds at Port, and a couple of rounds at
rumors
Rally.
say that won't go down very well, but then other rumors say it'd be fine. So
Yeah, I can't imagine Rally would let it go because they'd want their own thing. But
well,
a mid coast,
couldn't we start a series in New South Wales?
we could.
We have to charge an extraordinary amount of money though, because I think it's gonna cost a lot.
To try and run it and just run it out of Port, or just do like
No, rally as well. Rally
figure eight and doing the
figure eight,
backward figure eight thing, and then
Port. So rally, Port, figure eight, and Wakefield.
shit.
The finals at Wakefield.
Yeah, and so is our pocket.
Well, the final will only happen if all the other rounds make money.
Yeah, basically.
Because Wakefield's probably the most expensive out of all of them.
Yeah, of course. Hey, if anybody wants to sponsor that event, then me and EG will make that happen.
So I've been hassling Shane to. Oh, actually, yeah, Luddenham. Ludden.
Yeah.
What was that place called again?
Luddenham.
Luddenham. Yeah, there as well. So that's a 5-round series.
Yeah, but would we be allowed to use Luddenham?
Yeah, just get Shane onto it. I've been hassling. Oh, I was hassling him before.
Somehow I don't think that'll actually go down.
Nah, we'll be alright. We'll figure it out.
This would be very cool to make happen, but we're just blown out of our ass right now.
I know. That's why I kept adding it on. It's not gonna happen. We don't have enough money or time to do this, but it'd be cool. And you know what? Because this is all hypothetical. There's no entry fee for drivers.
There's no entry fee for drivers.
Yeah.
And definitely no. When we get North Circuit for
But they
final,
they have to bring paid spectators.
and then for the final round on North Circuit, because Wakefield will be the final round, and then we're gonna have like the final round, and it's gonna be on the North Circuit. Drivers get paid to enter.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then you get to be on TV at 3 a.m.
Because it's American TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
South American.
Yeah. Oh, Sam's just joined us. Poor Sam and his RX-7. Makes me very upset.
Yeah, that sucks. Hopefully it gets up and running again.
If you're listening for more than 2 seconds, Sam, if you've done any damage reports, just shoot it through in the comments. Yeah, look, that would definitely be cool. I'm not sure if we did a New South Wales series if we'd have to run one at Raleigh because it's already got enough events going on there.
No, I just like the variety. So I'd like to run like a different. So keep it in New South Wales. So this is another to keep in New South Wales. So New South Wales series. I've already figured out a name for this. Uh, I think I've already mentioned this here for you. East Australian
No,
Drift
I'm not sure.
Competition.
Yeah. Or we
Yeah.
could call it the shower incident.
Nah, East Australian Drift
Okay.
Competition.
East Australia shower incident?
No, it doesn't work.
Okay.
What's that? It's EASI? Nah.
So
East
East
Australian.
Australian drift competition
Yeah.
or drift championships.
Championship. Yeah, that's it.
So that the abbreviation for that is EADC. Yeah. So basically, you're gonna eat a DC.
Yep.
Sounds very appropriate.
Yep.
And yeah, there's definitely gonna be a front wheel drive class for Connor, so he can win that.
Why? I don't understand why it has to be separate.
Well, basically, I don't want to lose to a front wheel drive car because he's better than me.
Do you really think you're gonna lose to him? Yeah, I think you
Nah,
will. But some other people
but
will. Yeah.
yeah.
Some other people wouldn't. You would. You'd lose.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. But the funny thing is, you do the same
People
moves
are
he
like,
does. You
people
do
love
the aggressive flip back like Connor, like when you attacked me with your rear bumper. See, Connor does that as well. He attacks me.
because it's a disgrace having a front wheel drive and a rear wheel drive comp.
I don't even know where
Everybody's
you've
like,
seen this. There. Okay.
some are on Facebook and some are on YouTube. But basically,
Okay.
everybody's loving your creativity. Erin, our in-house school teacher, primary school teacher at that, thinks you're very creative, and that's probably what she tells the special kids on a daily basis. So,
Okay. It'd be nice to get this going, even just like an actual, not a theoretical one. But I think we'd have to
look,
get a
even
lot
if it
more
was,
people involved.
yeah, look, even if it was 3 rounds and you did port because it's fairly cheap to get hold of. Figure 8, the biggest killer is the fact that you've got to do it in such a short time. We'll just pay them for figure 8 to run the
Okay,
whole
so
venue.
sorry, no, Greg will pay them and we'll run the event.
Look, if you're throwing hypotheticals out here, and we're going to try and be
Okay,
serious
all
about
right, okay, serious. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna have to be an evening, but can we do like? Is just 16 cars? Is that achievable?
Nah, no way.
No. So
I
money wise, it
don't.
won't happen.
Well, if you did if it was still 5k for say port for the day, at 16, your entry is $312.
Nah, Port. I think you could run top 32. You
Yeah,
could,
but how can all of a sudden you go?
because it's a time restriction. Because
No,
at
no,
Port you have the whole
yeah,
day.
but if you're calling it a championship and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, but nah, we're only going to take 16 for one of the rounds.
Top 16, yeah. Sydney. Like you can just get some guy that wants to try and enter, and but we need more time. There's no. It's not gonna. It's so restricted because what is it's from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's 5 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you normally get about 5.
Yeah, so
Look,
it's
or you try and find an
pretty
event
tight.
that you're able to run it within. So, say a power cruise or the one of the open days that they hold at the venue instead of them running. I guess you could do passenger laps within that time, but then you could run the comp within it as well, or something like that. So, look, there are definitely options, but you'd have to find motivation to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
And some money.
Yeah, I can't think. Yeah, well, money is severely in debt at the moment, so.
No, not a. Hey, so So we're gonna go walk around and try and pitch this to some sponsors on the weekend then.
I think it needs to be better thought out.
Yeah, I still think you can gauge an interest whether or not it's actually achievable.
I don't think anyone would be interested in sponsored drifters.
Not sponsoring drifters, you're
Yeah,
sponsoring a
well, like a
competition.
drift competition. I don't think they'd be
Uh,
interested.
I don't know. There's a few people we
Just
could potentially speak to.
maybe.
People who have previously run drift events that, might do it to upset another
Another
organization.
competition.
I think you know where I'm heading with that one.
Yeah. Okay. I don't
You'd
think
probably,
I don't think it's worth the effort for that, but maybe it's some
hey,
good thing to like actually like use.
yeah, but even just a chat to see what sort of contacts they've got.
Yeah, I'm lazy.
You're the one who wants to make the EADC happen.
Yeah, but I say that because I can actually say all this stuff and not make it happen because it's all talk at the moment.
What does that even mean?
Well, it means I can talk so much shit and then and not end up doing it and not feel bad about it. You know what I mean?
Isn't that the story of our life here?
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Shorter said stop being negative.
Negative. No, I actually have like a really. If I could actually, probably when I get older and I stop drifting, then yeah, I really want to get this other idea of drifters don't actually have to pay to to enter. They actually get paid.
Yeah,
It's
that
invite
would be
only.
nice. Yeah, that would be nice, but it's got to be marketable at that stage. You need it to be at the point where you're allowed to put the results on the sales of the Opera House.
See, I don't know. So I think it's more like it would be. I haven't even gone yet. But you know those like motorbike shows, um, the
Like,
stadium shows. What's they called?
yeah, like Nitro
Uh,
Circus and Krusty
that's it. Yeah,
Demons and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
but even that stuff got boring. Like Krusty Demons basically got chased out of the US because people were bored of it, and they kept flogging it like a dead horse in Australia.
yeah. I
And
think that's the
then,
same. I think that happens here as well. People,
yeah,
a new drift comp, I'm gonna say new drift comp appears, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna enter that one because it's new and it's better than the other one, and then you go to the comp, it's like, oh, these things just run by the same people, they just named it something else, so and people think it's
oh
different.
yeah, the level of wank you can throw behind an event definitely attracts people.
Yeah,
Even the Curse Boys were chatting about it, and even if they just put their name on a couple of open days and then none of those guys actually showed up, people would show up
yeah,
because people want to be part of something, want to feel like they
yeah,
belong to something,
yeah.
and
So
yeah,
it'd be good if there was that sort of. I don't even know how to maintain it, but like the idea is that
that
the
was George's high
competition.
tech idea though. He was just going to build X number of cars and then basically do a traveling competition that was his own show.
Yeah, okay. I never heard that, so it doesn't count. No, I
Yeah,
didn't hear it, so um, I, it's kind of like that. So yeah, it's a traveling drift competition, but you're invited. Each team gets paid, I think, for competing throughout for the year. So I just picked like a random number of like $200,000. But they have to attend each round, and they have to have their car at a certain sort of level, presentation wise,
yeah,
and
but that's the
they can
same
get.
format. It's a V8 supercar uses basically.
So they're paid, are they?
Well, yeah, each team in the V8 supercars per license owns a certain percentage of
Oh, okay.
the V8
So
supercars.
so they earn it, and then that way,
So they try and promote the series so that more people attend, which means
that's
in
right.
turn the
Yeah,
series makes more money.
yeah. But then you would get kicked in and out depending on. It's not so much. Um, there'd be some sort of thing where you would be invited. So it could be that one year you'll lose your
Yeah, you
entry.
lose your license.
Yeah. and you'd have to try and build yourself up for that. But then it would take the pressure off the teams to actually have money, and then if they needed more money, then they could earn it, I guess, through their own sponsorship. But the
Yeah.
idea is that everyone's on this sort of minimum level kind of thing. There'd still be regs, so you couldn't modify your car stupidly. And
Yeah, of course. And to me, it doesn't matter what tires you're on or anything like that. If the competition's close, the same as say a DCA, then that side of things is pretty irrelevant. But
yeah, and
yeah,
then that way you get paid. You get paid drifters.
yeah. Well, at this stage, that's a pipe dream,
Yeah,
and I think that the EADC can happen. And I
yeah,
think
I
there could
think
be
it's
some
good.
pretty. I think that some good merch could come out of that too, which would probably be a. Well, and even the Curse boys who aren't all that interested in comps, I think would probably join the EADC because it's EADC.
Okay.
And Jai wants to win on figure eight again.
Did he win?
No, he didn't. He spun in front of me, mate.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's all.
yeah.
Did he win at all?
No, he only did that one round. That's his one comp, and then he spun in front of
Oh,
me.
okay.
And then, but it's basically the greatest love story ever told in Australian drifting because yeah,
Yeah,
now
but we
we're
scripted that spin, by the way. So
yeah. I think he handed it to me. I was like, this dude's like just yeah, he's such a yeah. This poor guy wants to be a pro and all this, and let's hand it to him.
yeah.
So, uh, Josh, which what are you commenting on, mate? Because I'm not sure.
Might
But
have been when I was spewing shit.
yeah, probably.
Okay.
But hey, seriously, like, are we going to pursue trying to start up the ADC, or are you just talking shit?
No, I'm keen for it. I want to get more people though. I think it'll need a lot of other people involved, just because
Do you mean drivers or hands on deck?
hands on deck.
Yeah, and I think that that could be pulled, but it's just yeah, it's got to be yeah, we've got to speak to some people who've done that sort of shit before.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't want it. I actually don't want like the idea of it mingled with another event. So like, you know how sometimes there's comps in a practice day, it kind of ruins the flow of the practice day, if that makes sense. And I can
No,
understand.
of course. No, I'm not talking something like that. I'm saying like if figure eight meant trying to get a daytime event on figure eight,
Yeah,
there are non-speed events where you're allowed to run figure eight during the day, like
yeah,
a power cruise or something like
okay,
that. But
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah,
But I also don't want it to be not associated, but like there's some people that they want to enter a comp because they want to be in a comp and they don't want the comp to be inclusive of someone else. So they don't want spectators to come and be distracted by something else.
oh, of course.
So I've heard of that before.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Like a V8 supercars, doesn't want to showcase, say competitive drifting because it's potential that that's going to pull away from their audience. But for something
Yeah,
like a power cruise, if people are paying to come in, I don't think it matters to them either way. Or if it's City Motorsport Park's free open day thing, then you accept the fact you're not going to get any entry fees, but what you will get is more people through the gate seeing, so you can try and sell that to sponsors to say, we're
yeah,
going to end up with X amount of people through the gate. This is what they got through the gate last year. You can showcase your brand in front of X number of people.
yeah. Well, that makes
So
for Eastern Creek, I think because of that restriction is probably a good thing, as long as it's
yeah, but the other
communicated
things
well.
you wouldn't be putting a comp in like the middle of the bash, and there's no way the Curse Boys would let that happen. But say, for example, they're not going to run a comp in the middle of the bash.
Yeah. No, I like the bash style. I like it'd be cool to have an event, more events like what's the other one they redid in America recently?
Final bout.
Yeah, things like that. because that was cool. I saw some videos of it recently, and yeah, it was really cool. I don't know how it works with flow because it seems like there's so many cars there.
Yeah, I think
And
people just want to be.
yeah,
Again, people just feel like they want to be part of something cool.
yeah. So
Uh, and I think Final Bout had a comp within it because I think that's what Adam LZ drove in, or Final
uh,
Stage or something. There was a comp within it. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, Nick hasn't been over watching Adam LZ videos here, so
Yeah, yeah,
I
I'm
don't
pretty sure he
know.
did it. He did a comp. It was at US Air, and they don't hold really any events there anymore other than Final Bout. So,
Yeah, we'll have to ask Dally. Dally's an
uh,
Adam LZ fan.
so
LZ.
yeah, look, it's definitely doable, but yeah, again, like anything, it's got to be, yeah, I guess a little bit joined between the clubs again, and just have that sort of support because it's just not enough. Yeah, there's a lot of drifting that goes on around the country. There's just not a whole lot of drifters. What did you think of South Australia's thing with doing the forced team comp type stuff? Ooh.
I hope someone got a screenshot of that. But I don't think it's a new idea.
Oh, it's definitely not a new idea, but do you think it adds an element to the comp, and do you think people would enter?
Well, I think these days there's more teams, like actual teams, than there used to be. I think that's the only difference. But I think you'll still find those old turn up, oh shit, I'm not in a team, we'll make one, and then just do something not very
Yeah,
good.
but
Like sometimes they're good, but it's just like you'd have to be for. I haven't actually read the rules and regs yet, but
there's nothing like formally out. I don't think.
yeah, I think it'd have to be predefined teams, so you couldn't just turn up and form a team. So like if you got 3 solo people, you couldn't just say, "Hey, we're entering the team drift segment because we're here." And we found 3 solo drivers. I don't think you should generally do that. I think it should be predefined teams, and then if they're all entered to the comp, that's fine. But if then,
But you got to start it. You got to start somewhere to begin with, though.
yeah, but that's my sort of thing is you get anyone that's entered, and they want more drifting time, so they'll just form a team and enter. So
Yeah.
what that means is even if they're not very good as a team drift and they just do 3 solo runs together, and that's the team drift show, then they're gonna look shit.
Yeah, but you're talking like thousands of people are going to show up and watch this shit. But
Doesn't matter, even if it's just one person sharing it on video. That's what they're gonna see. Is like it could one person who takes only video of it could share it to a million people, and that's their idea of it. And I don't
hey,
like that idea.
That's a million people who got to see it, though.
Yeah, to see shit drifting, like team
Yeah.
drifting. So that's one thing that I think it needs to be um, sort of. Yeah, I really understand. Like you want to get more seat time, but I think it should be predefined teams. So even if maybe like before you turn up, like if you're 3 solo guys, you have to have a team 2 weeks or 1 week before, even if you're 3 solo guys, and then that way it's a little bit better. Because then that sort of thing is like you've had a chat and you've organised that kind of thing, and maybe you've sort of decided a way to tackle it. Like it's rather than I just don't want to see 3 solo runs. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. At least try to make it a team, rather than I want more seat time, more track time.
Yeah. It was Super D over in the US. Daryl, who's gone over to watch the final round of FD. Thank you, Daryl. Yeah,
Makes sense.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I definitely get it, but it's just trying to work out how to get people involved with the EADC.
Oh, with the team stuff. Yeah.
No,
I
no, but
think.
just to get numbers, because yeah, to be sustainable, you sort of need your 32 and
Yeah, I like
or
the
even
32. I like.
or even your 24.
It'd be so much nicer if there was more. I really wish there was more flexibility to do other things, so other sort of fun stuff as well, or what I consider fun might not be fun for other people.
Like flower tattoos.
Yeah, all the drivers have to get one.
Just to confuse Chev.
Yeah,
Uh, what would you consider needing flexibility and to be fun?
running track backwards, some
Yeah,
tracks backwards.
yeah, like port and stuff. I'm pretty sure you'd get away with that sort of thing.
Yeah, but
But
not all tracks.
yeah,
Yeah, and then it's kind of difficult. And then even um, just having more time to do other things. So
but that's
like
not so
this
comp based.
yeah. So like team drift is fine, but it'd be nice to do. Well, like with DCA, they've got the 60 minutes to win it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like sometimes it'd be nice to get some other sort of thing where you can show off a driver in some way. So maybe it's just like how to drift games, for example.
yeah. I don't know. That stuff doesn't. I think the 60-minute to win it is probably one of your better formats for people just going full ham because it's not about a, a single run or
Yeah,
anything. It's basically who wants to get involved in the most dangerous shit and then drives really well because of it.
yeah, but with the because with 60 minutes to win it, you kind of everyone's guessing and they don't have a gauge. Whereas if you have a drift car or
But the
something
prize,
where
but the prize doesn't really
matter.
isn't that. Yeah, like
No, well, it's not for the
if
prize. It's more for spectator involvement, so they can
yeah, but then
sort
you
of
don't have to have yeah, but you don't have to have somebody. No, but when the spectators know everybody's going full ham just because they can go full ham and that's the whole point of that session, then
yeah.
and
But that's if
there's
you see that
a
every time. Like I'm saying, that's good, but that's just one
but it's not.
thing.
But you're not also in those sort of situations. You're not just looking for the good stuff. It makes everything more entertaining, and people go to motorsport for high risk accidents, all that sort of stuff, and that's what that sort of
Yeah,
thing
that's
pulls
fine.
out in the driving.
But I want to do that for one round only, and then on another round do something
You
else,
need to
and then
write some of this shit
another
down and
round
work
do
out what
something
you actually want
else.
to do, mate. You got to write this down.
Yeah. Well, easily, like you can say, there's so easy to understand a twin drift comp or twin drift.
Yeah, but then it's no longer a
So it's not a
it's
battle;
no
it's a twin
there's
drift.
no
So
longer yeah, no, I understand that, but there's no longer a series at that stage, so there's no
no,
point
no,
in
no.
trying
Yeah,
to
you
make it happen
have
across
you
different
have a
tracks.
series. No, no, no. You have the series, and this is you have like another addition to it. So something some other parts. So like for example,
Oh, so
the SA.
there's two comps each week. So within each comp, so say we've run it as 4 rounds,
Yeah,
and you're doing rally, port, figure eight, Wakefield.
yeah,
At first round at rally, there's a top 32
yeah,
as well as a twin drift competition.
yeah,
At round two at Port Macquarie, there's a top 32 and a three or more team drift competition.
yeah,
At round three, it's figure
yeah,
eight, so there's fuck all track time. It's the
yeah,
top four. Um,
yeah.
and then Wakefield is big money. So basically, if you can afford it, you can pay to enter, and it's a top 1,000, and it's an all-in like head-on collision drift
That's
competition.
right. Yes.
Yeah, okay, I get you
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So then it
Will
gives a
will the
variety.
will the EADC have after parties? Um,
I think after parties happen anyway. It doesn't even matter if it's organized by the
well, I think
organizer.
if it's rally and port, then you can camp at the track and just turn the whole thing into a massive
Orgy.
yeah, basically. And I think you could probably maybe do it at Wakefield. Considering they got cabins on site, I don't know how they'd feel about camping, but
No, there's camping
surely,
as well.
You're allowed to camp at
Yeah, at the
Wakeford?
back. Yeah, at the behind the pits. But I think you have to hire security for it, so people
Okay.
don't. And then they get locked in as well. So once you're camping there, you can't get out.
Yeah. Yeah, that
So
would be cool.
I think after parties happen, doesn't matter if it's event organized or not. So yes, there will be after parties.
Daniel, would you come down for the EADC? It would be cool to get it off the ground. Yeah, money's scary.
Yeah,
Money
it
is very
is.
scary.
And probably like if I was to do it, I'd probably do it very light. If that means like a very um, minimal risk,
Yeah,
probably one
and look,
round at a time.
yeah, yeah, and look, the reality is something like port is pretty cheap, and yeah, the fact that you can. Daniel said he'd only come if there's basically yes, he'll come if there's after parties. What about a midway party? So if the event was at port and it was to be like there was to be a license on the venue for the night, and basically everybody camped at the track, and it was yeah a big bonfire and a hangout, if that's something that would be a thing.
I wonder if there's any strippers at port.
Jesus Christ, man! I like how you take it to the next level of like what the event turns into. A
Always
start,
across a
Connor,
bit.
Connor wants a start party, so basically the party's before the event begins.
Pre-event.
That wouldn't be a bad idea actually. It'd be interesting to see how well
It'd
people
be
did after
like
it.
what's his name? The guy Jordan when he has big nights before the comp, he does better. Is it Jordan?
Stewie?
Stewie.
Stewie's like that as well.
Okay, yeah, there's a few guys that are better, they're more prepped for the comp if they have a big night beforehand.
Rob's
Even
saying a start party is legit, so
Star party.
all right. Well, let's make this happen.
A start party. Uh,
All right, I still think we brainstorm. I still think we brainstorm this, even if it's a one-off comp at port, maybe.
yeah, I don't know. There's already like
Fuck
comps.
you, fuck, you're unmotivated, mate.
No, well, I don't want to intrude on because the bash is um pretty good, like what the curse guys do, and then
Yeah,
that's I think it covers. Yeah, I don't know
cover covers what?
some aspects, but not a lot. Not not a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. So
Let's just tow cars to our tow cars to the pub. Team Team Orange said invert style with the strippers on the platform on the back.
yeah, okay.
Um,
One
wait,
round
like
at
if
port.
you were to do if you were to do a one-off just to see if it's even feasible, where would you do it then?
If it's feasible, I think. Well, at the moment, port would be the
Most feasible.
yeah. At the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
in
110%.
my knowledge, but then someone else could just say, hey, there's this place over here that you know about.
I think we'd know about it.
Yeah, I think so too. It sounds like Marulan's off the cards completely as well. They've changed their. Have you heard the new name?
Nah,
I was hoping you did because I can't remember it exactly. It's like no, Pleasant Forest Bush Circuit or something.
wow, that sounds worse than the shower incident. Say Pleasure Forest.
Pleasant.
Pleasant Forest
Pleasant
Bush
Wood.
Circuit.
Pleasant Wood, is it?
Oh, Pleasant. I don't know.
Pleasant Wood Bush Circuit. Pleasant
That
Wood Circuit?
that honestly, that's worse than EADC.
Is that it?
Maybe Bush
Pleasure
Circuit or
Wood.
just
Pleasure Wood. Maybe Pleasure
uh,
Wood.
it's what it sounds like you're talking about.
um,
I can't.
let's see.
Yeah, I can't find it. If somebody can link me. But yeah.
I'm gonna look on the other
Jai's
phone.
saying why compete when you could not. I don't know. Just saying fun about competitions. I don't think people from sort of New South Wales haven't had enough exposure to sort of national DCA style events, and they're pretty fun as an all-round driving thing.
Pheasant Wood Circuit. That's what it's called.
Pheasant Wood. Jesus,
Pheasant
it's
Wood.
not. Like, and you're talking Pleasure Wood, Pleasant Wood.
Pheasant Wood Circuit is a unique facility catering to all types of motoring enthusiasts except drifting. It is located close to Goulburn, just off the Hume Highway, which links Sydney and Canberra, making it both easily accessible.
Well, it's still underneath Marulan anyway, basically. So, yeah, lame, whatever.
That would be cool to do a comp there. That could be included in our hypothetical drift competition.
Yeah,
Championship.
yeah, that's definitely the free round.
That's the exhibition round.
Yeah, the picture looks too good too. Makes me upset.
What's that?
Ah,
Did you find the tattoo?
No, the one of the aerial shots of the track that they've got as their cover photo for the Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not a fan. Jai said they're only fun if you're winning, which he did, according to him. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be good to try and get at least one round of something going at.
I really only won top 16. Just saying that.
Oh, see. This is why
I'd do
you
32.
can't be involved because you're just a picky motherfucker.
No, that's right. If the if the field was bigger, then I could run a 32. If that makes sense, like the pool. So or something. Maybe it's like 16, but with two top 16s with two different classes.
Well, just a top half and a bottom half competition.
Yeah.
The worst part when you do that sort of thing, though, is then when somebody wins the bottom 16, they won an event. When technically somebody who qualified 16th and comes last in their half lost.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I know it's not like 32 these days at the moment. There's such a big skill difference. And I kind of want to squash them up a bit closer, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, but you could just do it based off experience, I guess. You don't get to choose your class; you get put in a class. Yeah, or you just do it as straight. Yeah, or you do it as straight qualifying, and you do it as a championship. Yeah, but when you do it as a one-off comp, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, if say you do a full season of that, then yeah, you could do top 16, bottom 16, and basically by being in the bottom 16, the points that go towards your championship are fuck all compared to being even making the top 16.
Maybe.
But then you have to have some sort of something major that goes towards the championship. But then,
But
even as but
but this will be only one round to begin with. So the
yeah,
championship would
exactly.
just be
So
bragging rights.
yeah, so a top 16 and a bottom 16 wouldn't really matter all that much. Unless you've got enough sponsorship to basically anybody who makes a top 16 gets their money back.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
Never
of course
know,
it would.
but it'd be nice.
But yeah.
It'd be nice.
It'd be even better if we could play it, do it at the Pleasant Wood. Could you imagine the first round of the EADC at Pleasant Wood?
That would be so good. But it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. The other thing I think would be cool is
top 16, bottom 16, 60-minute to bin it.
the other thing I think would be cool if there was like because one of the things in Japan that there's a lot of people into is the Kansai All Star series, and they're based on region.
Yeah, but it's getting too technical now.
No, it's not. This is ideas. This is brainstorming. It doesn't sound technical. It's cool to have it'd be cool to have maybe some sort of way to split some things up with region and have a competition that way.
Yeah, but you could just do, you just give away. You have to do like state awards or something. So if the combined totals of the top 3 Queensland guys, the combined totals of the top 3 Victorian guys, the top 3 totals of the 3 New South Wales,
I reckon it'd be
turns into like.
Oh no, it's like state of origin, so you compete. No, that doesn't work, does it? No, I haven't thought this through well enough. No.
Wollongong wins.
I doubt it. They didn't even compete anyway.
Yeah, and do we get Sam for Sydney because he's living in Penrith now, or does he count as Wollongong still because he's a cursed boy?
He lives in Sydney.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's Sydney. That's not Wollongong.
Game over then. Rainbow Drift by EADC at Pleasant Wood. Yeah, that would be a very interesting title.
I just want to more. So what would be good is if people get more awards.
No, what it needs is more hype. So basically, you hype it up and just get, say, me and Jai to shit talk each other all over the internet, and get people to believe that the shit talk is real.
Yeah.
And then basically that it's going to be a massive showdown, and then people will show up.
Yeah, but with comps, it's more you get a result and you take that to sponsors for.
Fuck, we're talking about the EADC here, mate. It's one round at Port.
Yeah, but it's gonna. Okay, all right. One round of Port. And you're
talking way too major scale at this stage.
I just have lots of ideas in my head.
Yeah, but okay. Let's take something as example as. Let's take something as simple as the Cursed Sunday Boys. People want to be part of that because of the hype that is created around them through their use of social media. And basically
social media?
Mate, yeah, you're too old, mate. I'm old too. We don't use enough Instagram. I got.
I know that. Yeah, I know. I don't use Instagram enough.
So I get in the back of a tandem go-kart. Daniel Ristic videos it, tags me in his Instagram story, and I instantly gain like 6 followers. That's how that shit works.
Yeah, okay.
It's all about that sort of hype.
Yeah. It has to be quick too.
Yeah. Social media and Grindr. That's what Jai said. I'm not sure about the grinder part, but
Oh no, Jai's got it. He's got experience. He knows what he's doing.
Sunday boys want to be part of Team Red Stage. Have your people talk to my people. This shit's good. No 4-3s allowed. But yeah, that's basically how it's gotta. That's why people care now. Like even that, you look at the Conor McGregor fight from the weekend.
But you don't.
Did
Yeah.
anybody actually care about the actual fight itself, or did they just want to know a result and see what actually came out of it? And I think
And
more
watch the
people were
fight
excited about
afterwards.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think more people were pumped for the fact that the dude jumped the fence and started punching on with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I see shared around the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I don't even know who
is that
won.
good? Is that good for the brand? Of course,
I
it's
don't
good
know.
for the brand. Does it look negative?
MMA.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
are
No,
people
but it
going to
doesn't matter.
watch?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
whatever's it was good or both positive and negative is both news or whatever it's called.
yeah,
Any
pretty
news
much.
any news is good. Any news is publicity.
Did you know that stupid horse race was on the weekend until they advertised it on the Buddy Opera House?
What horse race?
Oh, that Everett Stake shit that
No.
they were advertising it up on the Opera House last night.
I don't live in Sydney.
Yeah, but it was all national news stuff because people were
I
upset.
don't watch the news.
So, yeah.
I think this is what Blake means about me being isolated by all that crap because I just don't watch it. It's not my option. I just don't watch it.
Another driver in Queensland also came to my window during some stoppages on track and said EG needs to actually start adding people on Facebook, and so he actually knows what's going on with some other people.
Oh.
So a regular viewer.
Oh really? Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of check it occasionally, and sometimes if I don't even recognize their name or the car, it's like, where did I meet this person? I don't know.
This is this guy's point in general. He said he likes to listen, but he sometimes wants to jump through and strangle you. He didn't use those words, but I will.
Okay, makes sense. I know there's a lot of people like that. Oh, Dali's watching. So. I had a question for Dali. I can't remember what it was now.
That person may or may not have just commented with the emoji.
What? Charles is. Yeah, I accepted him, didn't I?
No, but I think it just means in general.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can get some EADC going.
All right. What's the plan? How are we gonna do this?
I think we try and speak to some people on the weekend.
Okay.
And just see, yeah.
If they're interested.
Oh, just number one, if they're interested, and
are we talking about people interested in attending or people interested in
everything, any aspect?
Any aspect. Okay. And what's a draw card?
What do you mean? What's a draw card? There's nothing going on for a while.
What were you going to sell them?
Well, there's no DCA until late next year.
Yeah, that's national anyway. It doesn't affect us.
Yeah, I understand it's national, but there's after some interesting talk on the weekend, I want to suss out what's happening with high tech for next year and find out what the go on that is. Because I found out some stuff that I'm not going to say too much until I have more information. And yeah. Sorry, just trying to read comments. Yeah, what is it? Well, it's a one-off comp, and people want to compete or claim they want to compete. So they want to do something new. So a comp at Port might be the thing. Come to SA in December. Yes, Michael, I want to, but now that event is really close to, not too far away from the North Circuit event. So
actually, that's one thing that we haven't spoken about because the date's been
Oh yeah,
announced now.
we'll talk about that one next episode because if anybody actually genuinely cares, they're going to listen the whole way through this, where other people aren't going to care.
All right.
And yeah, Michael, once I think you've almost got enough details now. We're going to get Michael on the show. So
Yeah, I need to have a chat with Michael beforehand about some things.
Jai said a cursed port day in December. Is that actually a thing, or are we talking shit?
Oh, he's going to date clash, isn't he?
Who?
Jai.
Doesn't even matter. It's a different crowd of people.
No, it does. You don't understand.
You can't not date clash on drift events through the country. It's like saying, "Oh, WA drift is on, so I better not run anything."
Don't worry.
Hey, it's not as bad as the judges from Rally not being able to go up there because they're driving another event. When's our next episode, Michael? Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. There's a Curse Sundays a port event on the 29th of December, according to Jai.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I might try and make it to that one. I'll make sure I put in going on the Facebook invite.
Yeah, and then not show up.
Okay, is that everything for now?
I think so.
Or do we have more
Oh,
things?
Warwick Hill just joined the chat. So Warwick.
Oh, actually, you know what you need to do is
we're trying to start up the EADC, which stands for the East Australian Drift Competition Championship, and we need some sponsors. So I think you're the man to speak to.
no. Before we finish the show, last week we did a pool for the World Time Attack. We went through the pool, and we put down our thoughts on who's going to win on each pool.
Yeah.
So we might just quickly get your thoughts, Greg.
All right. Let me just.
I can read them out to you unless you want to have a look.
No, it's all good. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
So I'm going to be a bit of a dick about. Can I just be a complete dick about it?
No, well that's all right. You can. I think Blake did a lot of explanation behind his ones. If you want, do you want me to tell you what the other people are first, or do you want to just say what you think to begin with, and then?
So
in pool A, we'll start with pool A.
Yeah, I would. This stage,
So
I would be saying
Michael Prosnick, Anthony
Billick,
Josh Botcher,
and Matty Russell.
Yeah.
Well, so in news that I've followed on Facebook, Billick's just gone from right on 300 kilowatt to almost 400.
Yeah, I read that as well.
So that'll be better for him, and he's no slouch. But I would say Prosnick is probably the best driver in that group. My dark horse, who might upset a few people, would probably be
dark horses. I think. So.
Yeah, but I would say Billick would be the person who upset that group potentially. If the car stays together. Brad Toohey in Pool B
is
Brad Toohey, Fanger Dan, Aaron DeWar, and Adam Monk. I spotted for Brad last year. I would say Fanger Dan's probably got that. No. I would say Fanger Dan's probably got that group on lockdown. Yeah, with Brad probably being sort of,
really
close in behind that.
Yeah, that's what I've got as well. But Duro isn't that bad either, because he's really aggressive.
Yeah, he's aggressive, but
he's a Victorian, so I don't really see him drive.
Yeah, and Aaron, I think he's still getting his confidence in bigger events. So look, I hope he puts down a good show. But yeah, for me,
Winton, I think for high tech, he's all right.
Yeah. No, he does. But this is like but you're talking in front of tens of thousands and thousands on the live stream. So yeah, I'd say Fanger Dan probably got that, but
Okay.
Brad potentially a close second. Pool C, Jared Olive Corona, Jack Shanahan, Ben Meir, and Brendan Greaves. Uh, oh, my heart is torn in many places here. My boy Jack and
It's
my boy Ben.
not about
Uh,
your heart. It's about who you think would win the pool.
uh, Look, the reality is with that group is Ben's probably running the lowest horsepower of. Oh no, probably right on about the same as Jack. Oh no, yeah, as Jack's car. Um, Jack hasn't had much seat time. I would say, look, on song, Jack should have this group pretty well, but I would say after Ben's showing last year, Ben might shake it up. Brendan Greaves is a good driver and has won some events over in Asia. He won or did well in ADGP Asia and a few other bits and pieces, but he's in a brand new car, and I've only seen a handful of laps on Facebook from that. Uh, Jared Olive Corona, look, could do anything, but I don't think he's been over here for this event before. But yeah, he's a seasoned guy who's been on big tires a lot. So yeah, look, my heart says Ben. My head says if Jack's on song, it's Jack's. But we'll see what happens with them. That's me copping out a little bit. Pool D is
So that was Jack,
kinda,
wasn't it?
yeah, Jack, but my heart wants Ben.
Yeah, I watched Judge Jack at Mount Gambier. And he's really good.
Yeah,
It was only the
that'll just
intercooler popping that knocked him out of the comp, which sucked. But
yeah. I'm not sure the last time he drove an AE86 though, so that'll be interesting.
that's his starter car. Like that's his car he went for
Yeah, that's just
drifting.
yeah. I understand that, but that
That's
doesn't mean
like
that
he's
that's what you're
like,
comfortable in anymore.
nah, he'd be 100%. We're just like,
All right. Well,
yeah,
let's hope. Let's hope you're right with that one. Connor Shanahan, Luke
just pull
Fink,
D. Yeah.
Michael Bonney, and Stephen Brugmans. Brugmans was out testing yesterday, or the day or on Monday, I think, out at QR with the 350. Guess they secured some private testing. He was also out driving all weekend at QR Matsuri in his chaser. So that he'll be very interesting. But then you've got seasoned guys like Luke Fink and uh, Connor Shanahan. For me, Michael Bonney's not really in the picture too much with that group. He's got a well-developed, crazy car, but to me, just doesn't have the chase ability. So I would be saying Luke is now in a different car because he's in the Strawberry Face 180. I'm not sure how well developed
Well, yeah.
that.
My worry was that Luke was in a brand new car and it was just gonna fall apart. So I
Well, no,
picked
the
Connor.
180. Yeah, the 180 works though. That
Yeah. So
180
that's
works.
why that was why I picked Connor because I
Well, and I got news through that Connor's car is currently working. There was some earthing put in the wrong spot, and now it's on, and it sounds tough. So, uh, yeah, that'll be that'll be an interesting one. But look, if Luke's in a car that works, then nothing should be stopping Luke.
so who do you
Um,
pick?
I would say Luke,
Okay.
but Brugman's for me would be the dark horse in that group more than Connor. Connor's car works and Connor should be driving well, but if anybody's going to upset that group, Brugmans will come out and just upset people.
Okay. Gonna be interesting.
Um, Taniguchi,
So
Nathan
Paul
Greenhill,
E.
yeah, Taniguchi, Greenhill, Bo Yates, and Imamura. For me, Imamura's not even in the picture in that group. I hate to butthurt all the JDM fans, but that car had problems at QR Matsuri the last time. I don't think it's a crazy competitive car on, these guys are all going to be running big slicks, big grip. I'm not sure. I know that car was built to be a top spec comp car, but with the little problems that it was having at QR Matsuri. That one's sort of out of the picture for me. Look, Taniguchi should be putting it to Yates, but Yates is super consistent. Between I don't know Taniguchi that well, so I guess I would lean more towards Yates because that's his home
Taniguchi would
track.
have the most driving experience out of the whole group.
But what's he like as a chase driver? Like, is he D1 champion, all that sort of stuff? I don't have a huge amount of background
I
info
don't
on him.
know. He's always really high before, but he's old
Okay,
now. So
okay,
he's an old, like, original D1 driver. So I don't
okay,
know
so
what he'd be like these days.
yeah,
He's really smooth, like super smooth.
so I would say Yates here at that stage, but I think Greenhill will uh, probably upset a few people because I don't know if Nathan's lead runs will be the best in the world, but I know on the chase he's going to be basically he's either going to win on the chase or he's going to not finish the run.
So who do you pick?
I have Yates down because I think he'll be the most consistent, but I think Greenhill will potentially shake that up pretty well in that group. Yes, I know against two Japanese drivers, but we'll see what happens with that.
Pool
Mike
F.
was just sent me a private message, and yeah, I do agree with that statement. It'll be interesting to see if that car stays together.
Which one? You're not gonna.
The Imamura car.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pool F is Dale Campaign, Jake Jones, Carl Thompson, and Camo Moat. Uh, I would say Camo Moat's probably got the most consistent package in that group that sort of goes with the driver.
What about
But
Dale? Dale's. I think he'd be similar in that sort of respect.
I mean in respects to like when Camo drives that car, that's how that car's always
That's always.
it's been on on street tires and all that stuff. So now the wick's been turned up and he'll be on big grip. So
Are you talking about Dale or Camo?
yeah, Dale.
Okay.
Camo always seems to put on a good show. Like whenever he jumps in to that track, and then his cars seem to suit really well. So yeah, to me, Jake Jones, it's hard. I don't want to talk too much shit, but he just seems to have little gremlins sort of take place. So hopefully the boys at Powtune have got that pretty well sorted. But
of course they got it sorted.
But Jake
I think it's the
Jake seems good at breaking things, so
he needs more aggression. He's just missing the when he was in Japan. His style's changed. It's gone from the sort of jumping in to more like sort of trying to follow. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's where it's going to fail him.
Yeah, I think Dale will probably be the most aggressive on the chase. Camo will put down consistent laps. Look, I'm going to go Dale purely so that hopefully DCA national champion goes deep.
Cool.
And then Camo Moat being my dark horse or second pick on that. So this group's the one that kills me the most.
Pool G. This is the one with a bet on it.
So Mitch Pullen, I can't even think of Probert's.
That's the Falcon.
First name. Yeah.
Danny.
Yep. And Nakamura and Joel Dimmick. Joel was out testing at a QR on the weekend. In that Z. Look, basically this is Nakamura's group to take. If he can do 6 consistent laps, he should have this battle no trouble. If the car holds together, he should have this pull easily. I don't know if Mitch Pullen's ever actually competed, like actually ever.
I don't know who he is.
He drives a Hilux with a
Oh, that
fair bit
guy.
of horsepower. That Luke drove at Archie, but I don't think he's ever actually competed. I spoke to a few guys up in Queensland during QR Matsuri, and they're all pretty certain he hasn't actually.
Yeah, but you never know. There could be like a hidden skill that he's not.
I'm pretty sure.
He's like, nah,
Probert
he's
is
gonna
in a
suck.
Probert's in a look. I'm just being real on it.
Yeah.
Probert's in a new car, a very cool car. How hard he'll be willing to chase and push that car and risk riding it off, I'm not sure. I don't know him all that well. Mitch Doyle could probably give more information, but to me, the reality is that it's Nakamura's to win. Dimmick's car looks a little bit more well sorted, but again, you're dealing with somebody like Nakamura who's just going to jump on everybody's door. So
Yeah, but his car's like 1,000 horsepower.
no,
And
of course, yeah,
and that's like a time bomb, I reckon.
yeah. I guess when you're talking having to do 3 battles before you ever make it into like the main competition, it's pretty difficult. What we might do is speak to Dan Mackey and see if we can get into driver's briefing, or just confirm that we're okay to go into driver's briefing.
That's pretty early, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I'll try and go driver's briefing.
Yeah.
So that way we have some, because if they look for an event like this, I don't mind if they go, a little bit more for the fans, but as long as they're open about it.
Yeah.
Like last year, it killed me because they said, "Oh, if you go over this line, you'll get zeros and all this sort of stuff," and then they started doing it more for the fans, and
well,
that was
this
against
is
what they
more
had said.
because it's not a championship. It's just
No, yeah, and I'm
it's
okay with that.
a show competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got all these
Yeah.
cool cars and cool drivers together, and it's just
Shoulders
a show. Yeah.
Shoulders is saying that Naka's car's not going to last.
Nakamura, no, and Shoulders should have been in this thing as well. I really wish he was in this pool, like in this
competition.
competition.
Then he just run into people. Aaron's asking what turbo's on Nakamura's car. I have no idea, but
Big one.
somebody else, yeah, a big one. And then the last pool is.
Wait, did you pick
Joe?
one? You picked Nakamura, didn't you?
Yeah, Nakamura, if the car holds together. But other than that, honestly, yeah, maybe Probert because the car's cool.
What? So did you pick
Naka?
Oh, as a
yeah,
second.
Nakamura.
Oh, no, I'm not
and
seconds.
and Probert for the second one if Nakamura doesn't make it through. I think it's Joe Brown, Matty Hill, Levi Clark, and Matt Harvey.
Jace Brown.
Oh, Jace Brown. Which cars?
No idea. I just have the full names here.
Let me quickly do. I watched a little bit of D1Z, but I can't remember which car he's in. But Matty Hill, new car, I guess. So we'll see some deets on that. Aaron's asking so that Adam can do some calculations. I sort of figured that one. And then Shoulder said he'd choke. No, you wouldn't. You just run into people. Let me find.
No, yeah, Shoulders wouldn't choke.
Where the hell are you, mate?
Oh, what are you looking up?
Oh, Jace Brown is the one in the boss, Boss S14. He's pretty experienced. Matty Hill. This will be actually a pretty good group if everybody's on. Again, to me, I'm leaning towards Matt Harvey and Levi Clark
Okay.
purely based off aggression in chase. From what I saw from the last round of high tech up in Queensland when Levi drove that, he just went, yeah, basically it was all or nothing on his battles. So yeah, look, I'm gonna say Matt Harvey. Uh, if he can get enough speed to keep up, I think that's going to be the biggest struggle with that car. The fact that he's got the sequential in it will make it a little bit easier. And he
But other
has,
cars would have sequentials in there, wouldn't they?
yeah. But I more mean being the little SR, or his isn't such a little SR, but just being an SR compared to a V8, a 2J, and a V8. Uh, yeah, he's gonna
Yeah,
sort of
its
be
power
down on,
delivery is different.
yeah, he's gonna be
Yeah,
down on
just because of
torque.
the
So
engine. Yeah,
yeah, and that
yeah,
track, if you get gapped, then you pretty much see you later.
yeah.
So yeah, I would say, look, I want Matt Harvey, but look, I'm going to say Levi Clark, but then Matt Harvey is the one I'd prefer to see through, but Levi Clark I think will be the one who'll probably
Wait,
walk
so
away with that group.
did you pick Matt or Levi?
Nah, I'm going to go Levi, but I want Matt to
Ah, I've
make it
already.
through.
Okay, so let me cross this out. Put
Look,
you over here.
if we're doing it as like a thing where it's a sweepstake, then I need to cover my bases and not just think with think with my heart.
So what about Matty? Matty Hill.
Um, well, considering they're talking a different car, depending on what it's set up like, and even if he's got a Wisefab car, he didn't get much time with a Wisefab car, and you're against three other dudes with cars that they know like the back of their hand.
Yeah,
Like that Jace has driven that car with that setup. I think he drove the whole D1NZ season plus potentially seasons before that in a similar setup. Um, Levi's had that car set up the way it is for ages, and Matt Harvey, well, same deal. That car hasn't changed in 2 seasons of DCA and doing Tassie Drift and DCA Tassie and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's where I think Matty will struggle against the other guys. Will just be purely on car setup compared to the time that the other guys have had with their cars.
okay, cool. Well, just looking at it, we haven't had any completely split decisions.
Yeah.
I just saw Warwick's comment come in.
how
um,
do how do I get in trouble for that? Am I not? Is that not a true statement? Like that? Well, hey Warwick, if you're here, give us some deets on the new car, mate. Let's see if he actually. Hey, that doesn't mean that I don't want Matty to do well.
yeah, like
I'm
all
just
these guys, like I know a lot of these guys, and this is just more. No, that wasn't
yeah.
Matty. Yeah,
Yeah. Look, if I
like
uh
you can't have you can only have one winner for this competition. So
yeah, and look, if I went through and sort of looked at it with my heart and went with people who I was friends with, I would go. It would be good to see Billick win Pool A. It would be really good to see Brad win Pool B. It would be good to see Ben win Pool C. It would be good to see, to me, Brugmans win Pool D. It'd be good to see Nathan win Greenhill win Pool E. It would be good to see Dale Campaign win Pool F. It would be good to see Probert win Pool G. And for me, it's a split between Matt Harvey and Matty Hill with Pool H. If I was just going to go with people who are my friends and I would like to see them do well, like so. 2J Wisefab front and rear and 500 kilowatt. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Matty goes. Just again, I just don't think necessarily enough time just yet with the Wisefab. Hopefully, I'm proven wrong, but this is me being purely thought out with the whole thing. Look, really, I wish Warwick Hill was in pool G and I could pick him instead.
Who would he be in place? Who would he replace in Pool G?
In pool G,
Yeah.
anybody other than Nakamura.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna cop shit and get punched in the face at World Time Attack, but
Oh, that's right. We all spoke about last week as well, so we were going to get bashed at one point, walking through the pits or something.
well, Warwick, that's the biggest cop out answer. My guess is either Matt or Levi. Well, considering there's two Matts in that group,
So he's picked 3 people.
he's picked three or four. Like, well done, mate. I can guess like that too. And Warwick said, "Oh, we don't know. He might be. Nah, mate, you're gonna be up on the hill selling t-shirts. So sitting with the rest of us plebs." EG, stop talking in group chats and focus. Well, yes, Warwick, I'm very aware you meant hill, you dickhead, but it's just, yeah. It's like making a bet. Heads I win, tails you lose. Do you get it? When you're flipping a coin, heads I win, tails you lose. You just can't lose. So, yeah, well, we're going to see. Let's see if cars last.
All right, so we've locked
we
that
cut-
in. I'm just going to save. I'm going to
we
save
cover
that.
Did we cover who's judging? Dan Mackey, I'm pretty sure is head judge, and then everything else after that, I am not entirely sure because it's not really out there just yet. I'm not sure. We will confirm. But with Dan in charge, yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
You reckon? Oh no,
Yeah.
wait. The bad guy was a New Zealand guy, wasn't he?
No, last year.
No, the
Oh,
year before.
you're talking about Redwood. No, he was the good one. The other two were crap.
Those 2 Japanese.
Yeah, it was Buddy Suchiya and Yoshi the year before,
you know
or whatever.
why? You know why that happened? It's because they couldn't communicate. So
yeah,
the criteria that was
crap.
given, but it was given by the English-speaking person, which is New Zealander, and then there was 2 Japanese people, which I think they didn't speak at all, and so the criteria was like not communicated properly or understood properly. So.
And then last year was not that great because Fahumis wasn't very good. But there's been issues with him in other series, so there's a D1NZ judge as well. Yeah, I think the judging shouldn't be too much of a problem. As I said, I just would be interested to see. Yeah, I just hope if they're going to go a little bit loose to try and do it for the fans, that they're loose with it. If they're going to be strict and tight with it, be strict and tight with it.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll be doing our commentary and live judging as well.
Yeah, and I know there's some cars on a reserve list because of potential that cars weren't going to be up and running and all that sort of jazz. But I'm pretty sure at this stage, looking at the list, that unless cars from New Zealand haven't made it over, that pretty much everybody local is up and running. I know there was question marks over the car that Connor was driving, but it sounds like it's up and running. I know Brendan Greaves was on their way across the country. Monk, I'm not so sure. And then, yeah, a few other cars, but yeah, we'll wait and see. We might have to adjust on the fly at the event in case there are people who do get replaced. And Erin saying she can't wait for EG's commentary.
Nah, it won't be that good. Nah. I want to just get better. That's all. More experience.
This year I don't think I'm hoping that I don't have to abuse the judges like I did last year.
Oh yeah, I've got that recorded somewhere.
Yeah, but that wasn't good because I had the shits when I'm spotting for somebody, and yeah, Brad struggled, but Monk's there, so yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think at this stage, other than the New Zealand cars, I know that pretty much everybody else is on the way or there. Yeah.
Cool.
Unless I think that's Michael Bonny, I'm not sure, but I would imagine he'd be up and running. Always seems to be. And then, everybody else I'm pretty sure is good to go, unless somebody breaks some cars on Thursday. Yeah, sure does. Connor's car, the guys who are helping look after it in Sydney have sent me a message, and they're pretty much good to go. So
practice tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, practice tomorrow afternoon. I'll see. It's just such a pain to get out to Eastern Creek and to drive out there 3 times in 3 days. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, if we have to adjust, we'll adjust. We'll see what we can cover over the weekend.
I think we'll just try and get a stream happening for the drifting. Hopefully we've got enough. I've got enough data.
So we're just videoing ourselves at that stage?
I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it. Because if I take a laptop, then we could potentially record and at the same time.
Yeah, but we don't. There's gonna be a full blown big dollar live stream going.
Yeah, so ours is better.
Why the fuck would you try and video?
Just to make it coherent, I guess, when you watch it again.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it doesn't make sense if you're just having a commentary but no video. If that makes there's no overlay. There's no sort of visual thing, and then there's a commentary for it.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely sure you could not see the cars and the track from our phones.
No, not once it gets dark.
Yeah.
Place is impossible. Yeah.
So, but that would mean I have to carry the laptop out and hook up a battery.
Yes. Yeah. We'll work it out, mate. We'll work it out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think that's. EG will look like the cameraman at the cricket filming boobs in the downtime. It's funny you mentioned that. One of the guys who's actually driving the event is notorious for that sort of thing, and puts it on his stalls occasionally too.
Driving the event.
Yeah, there's a guy driving the event who runs stalls some years, and he's had some questionable footage show up of girls' backsides and stuff from in the crowd. Driver maybe in pool A. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's wrap this one up because.
You reckon? No, we're really close to. How long was the old one?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing another 30 minutes.
Was it over 3 hours?
Yeah, it was 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So nah, I'm not trying to beat that, mate.
Okay.
I've had a long week. And honestly, being 30, I'm just a grumpy old man now. So
You know, we're all staying at your place on the
yeah,
weekend.
there's another side to my bed, mate. Just come in and spoon with me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm far. I'm not that close to the track.
Huh? Yeah, but it's free,
Yeah, that's all right.
and there's 3 of us as well, by the way.
Yeah, Jesus. I'm only gonna spoon with you, mate.
We can all squeeze in. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I just don't want to have to. I just want you all to myself.
Okay.
Then we're gonna call it the crutch slip.
The crotch slip. Remember when you had that idea of all these other like offshoots with a name?
Yeah, but yeah, and then life got busy,
Yeah.
and yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there,
Okay.
maybe. We got to get the EADC going.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh, Jake's coming too. He said 4 of us.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Hey, Shoulders, are you coming down for this, or are you staying up in Queensland? If you're still listening,
Might be.
Shoulders is an avid listener, so I
Is
trust
he?
him to still be there. Yeah, he fucking loves us,
Okay.
mate. Him and Snell. I know Snell does the catch ups. Snell uses it when he's driving though. When he's driving the truck.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Shoulders is a regular
You should listen
tuner
to
winner.
last week's episode, Greg.
Do the high five.
Oh, this doesn't work because we've got them flipped on different
That's all right
on the
because
streams. Do one this way.
yeah, that's perfect. It's the same either way now.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
What do you
weird how
mean?
they come closer and I come closer and we just hold hands. Just come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Why won't you come close?
Huh? What do you mean?
Touch my hand. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
See, we're
okay.
touching
So it's
hands.
different. So that's different to the YouTube stream.
No,
Is
it's
it?
not. I'll pull up the YouTube. Yeah, Shoulders is gonna be there. Yeah, good. We can talk some shit, mate. Yeah, no, it is a little bit different, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, your camera's weird. Why's yours doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, well, no high five. We're just awkwardly touching hands.
Hang on. I could probably do this as it comes through.
All right.
Okay. Time to go.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll catch up with a bunch of you on the weekend, and yeah, we'll give you our predictions, and yeah, stay close to your phones and keep us on. We'll probably stream from Facebook if we're streaming some of it. I think, maybe.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Facebook it is. All right.
Cool.
Oh, I've got to end this stream, eh? Because this is me now.
So do I. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys next time on Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah. See
Friday.
you. Friday.
Oh,
Friday.
and Greg's
maybe
live stream tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe my live stream tomorrow. We'll see how we go.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.